All right. Good evening, everybody. Well, good early evening. It's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we welcome y'all back to another episode of the Saturday Sit Down on a Sunday. So we're going to call this today, we're going to call this episode the Sit Down on a Sunday. And I am recording live on location from the Speakeasy at the Walker residence. My homeboy, Matt Walker, graciously allowed me to use his house because 24 hours later, we don't have any internet. But that's what you got good friends for. So I appreciate Matt for coming through for me in the clutch. He and his wife, Kim, for hosting me this afternoon for this, what's going to be an epic episode because we're going to talk about 90s R&B. So again, I'm T. Harris at When the Needle Drops.
And I'm QG at Nerdy Lil Bubba.
All right. So again, welcome to the Saturday Sit Down on a Sunday today, where we share our love for music in a way that is accessible and enjoyable for everyone, from the novice to the knowledgeable. And before we even get into the show, man, what I want to do is I want to give everybody a shout out for sticking with us through all those technical difficulties last night. I know that was extremely nerve-wracking, especially for me on my end, being a control freak, a self-confessed control freak, and not having any internet. But y'all hung in there with us until we realized we weren't going to be able to do the show. But I text Q this morning. I said, dude, I think I got a solution. Let's go live today. So we may not have the numbers that we typically have, but those of you who are joining us, guess what? We're gonna have fun anyway. We're gonna have a great and lively discussion like you guys expect from us. So let's go ahead and get started, man. Today's topic, 90s hip hop and R&B, or as I called it in our trailer, the music that made us. Okay. Q, were you born what, 78?
Yep.
78. I was born in 80. So this is the music that basically sort of formed our taste in music. All right. These are our high school years. This is the beginning of our college years, our early adult life, so to speak. So this is the music that actually I would consider to be the soundtrack of our lives. What you think, man?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we basically went from boys to men, and not to be cliche, but we went from boys to men starting in the 90s.
Yeah, for sure, man. And one thing I'll talk a little bit more about this once we get into one of these questions, man. But there was so much that the sound of 90s music evolved so much, but we'll get into that later. But before we do that, September has been a heck of a month as far as losses in the music industry. Starting off September, we lost Fat Man Scoop, and then we've lost Tito Jackson. And we lost the legendary Frankie Beverly as well. All this within a span of probably 3 weeks. I almost felt like it was back to back to back.
It seemed like it was.
Yeah. So, Fat Man Scoop, again, somebody who was pivotal in the soundtrack of our college years, man. All those Get Hype songs, the song with Faith, the remix to Love Like This.
Yep.
Which you had the drop joint with Timbaland and Magoo. Which he's so famously on. And there was one other joint. Was he on that? He was on the Let Me Clear My Throat with DJ Cool too, right?
He was on that joint. He also did, I feel like he did a remix of Foxy Brown's Get Me Home.
Okay. But yeah, Fat Man Scoop, man, you heard that trademark voice, man. It was on. You knew it was about to be on at a party. Tito Jackson of the legendary Jackson family. Shout out to Tito Jackson for being disobedient, sneaking behind his dad's back and playing that guitar, because without that broken guitar string, ain't no Jackson 5, man.
Nope, no Jackson 5.
No Jackson 5, no Michael, no Janet, no Jermaine and his Washington Redskins logo haircut. None of that, man. So he is indirectly responsible for the greatness that we got to witness that came out of the Jackson family. So shout out to Tito Jackson. And then, of course, everybody's favorite musical uncle, Frankie Beverly. Can you tell us some of your early memories of Frankie Beverly music, man?
So, I mean, Frankie Beverly was ours. Okay. He did not care about going pop. He didn't care about getting a Grammy. He didn't care about none of that. He just wanted to make great, soulful music. My first memory of Frankie Beverly was I was a little kid and I had saw this video of these dancing sneakers, and it was for the song Back in Stride.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I was introduced to Frankie Beverly. And then I was at somebody's house and they were playing Before I Let Go, or the parents was playing Before I Let Go.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so everybody was grooving to it. And then after that, once I got older, I started doing a deep dive into Frankie's music. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty dope. Like yeah.
Frankie, man. Like, he's one, man. He, like you said, he's an artist that was truly ours.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of his contemporaries, I think a lot of their goal was to cross over.
Right.
Frankie's goal was to continue to make music for the people who loved and supported him the most, man. And that was the African American community. Like, there isn't an occasion in the Black community, from wedding to cookout to kickback, that you don't hear a Frankie Beverly song, man.
That's
So
right.
yeah, that's a legend. That's a huge loss for the music community. And I'm
Oh,
glad that he was able to receive his flowers before he passed away, and have one final tour and show of appreciation for all he's done to contribute to the soundtrack of our lives, man. So yeah, shout out to Frankie Beverly. And I know everybody was shocked when that news came in, because it was early in the morning when that news dropped.
Yeah, unfortunately, Frankie had been sick for a while. And I knew, like, a while back he had throat cancer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because I was trying to, a matter of fact, I was supposed to go to one of his shows right around the time when he was diagnosed with it, and he had to cancel the tour. And so I never got a chance to actually see him. But I take that back. I did see him at the Capitol Jazz Fest, because he always did the Capitol Jazz Fest. So yeah, I did see him at that point, but yeah. But it's still a huge loss. Huge loss.
Absolutely, man. So we're gonna jump into that first question. And this is a question you asked, and I'm gonna let you go ahead and ask that, man. You go ahead, man.
All right. So one of the questions I had about this is, which genre played a bigger role in your 90s life soundtrack? Was it R&B? Was it hip hop? Was it hip hop soul? Was it neo soul? Was it a combination of everything? Which one do you think played the bigger role in your life soundtrack?
All right, so this, for me, this comes as no surprise to anybody knows me, man. I am an R&B dude to the core. I really didn't get into listening to hip hop. There's a difference between listening to music and listening to music, probably until 11th, 10th, 11th grade, really, because 96 was the year in hip hop for me that impacted me the most, man. So I say probably 96, I didn't really start getting into hip hop. But prior to that, man, I was R&B to the core, man. Jodeci, Boys to Men, High Five, Intro. I mean, the groups was popping in the 90s, man. Mint Condition. I was big into those mid-tempo R&B ballads, Babyface, you name it. So yeah, I was an R&B junkie. I was the kid that would listen to the song on the radio and try to take the liner notes out of the tapes and CDs and memorize, so I could put it in my letters that I wrote to those girls back in the day, trying to be sweet on them. Check boxes, check yes, check no, or check maybe. That was me, man. I was R&B dude to the core. But like I said, it wasn't until the late 90s that I really started to get into hip hop, man. So 96 was the year for me for hip hop. And from that point forward, it was sort of a mix of everything. But I'd say the vast majority of the 90s, R&B was it for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, for me, it was the opposite. I was more of a hip hop head in the 90s. It wasn't until I would say like the mid to late 90s when I started diving deeper into R&B. I mean, I always listened to R&B, don't get me wrong, but I was more heavily hip hop focused. And so as I got older and I started listening to other artists like Erykah Badu, Donnell Jones, Backstreet, people like that, in Case, I was like, okay. And then I kind of started flipping, I was listening to more R&B than I was rap, because as you said, at a certain point, you want to kind of be smooth with things, especially once I hit college, it was like, I can't be blasting, Biggie in the ride, I gotta have something, more R&B tip.
Yeah, listen, man. You back in the day, man, when you used to have those phone calls, when the young ladies would call your landline at your parents' house, okay, before prior to cell phones, you listen to the Quiet Storm. You can't have Biggie's Warning playing in the background while you trying to cake up on a young lady, man.
Nah. You got to have that Quiet Storm joint. I say you got to have that Case faded pictures in the background. When you start the phone call off like ding 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 ding. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh man, this was also the era where you had the dope R&B voicemail on your phone
Yeah.
Let the song play about 30 seconds, and then you say, "Hey, yo," and then you say your name, leave a voicemail, I hit you back. And most of the time, you end it with peace.
And then you had the just a little snippet of the music playing after
Yeah,
you leave that line,
yeah.
and then it goes right into it.
Oh man, oh man. Yeah, so I will admit that now at my advanced age. I don't care. I don't care what people think. It don't matter to me, man. But the one thing I will say about 90s music, we talked about this. We talked about this a lot. And I think we hit on it a lot during our South Got Something to Say episode, was just the diversity in the sound, man. Like
Yeah.
there were tons of groups, but nobody sounded the same. Everybody had their own lane. Like Jodeci and Boys to Men, who that everybody likes to compare those two, but they had their own lane, man. They had their own lane, they had their own look. Later on, you had Intro, you had Blackstreet, you had Drew Hill, you had 112,
Shy,
As Yet, Shy, tons of singing groups, their own identity, their own sound. So that's the one thing I do appreciate about 90s R&B. And I'm talking about, which we talked about R&B, but the same thing with hip hop. I mean, lots of acts came out of New York, lots of acts came out of the West Coast, a few from the Midwest, and then the South really blew it up, 95 and beyond. But everybody had their own lane, and they were successful in that.
Right. Nobody tried to sound like the next man. Everybody wanted, because even within New York rap, no two New York rappers initially sounded the same. Now later on, you can kind of see the line starting to get blurred, but for the most part, no two rappers sound the same. And in the 90s, the music transition, it was all about New Jack Swing. Then hip hop and soul, well, hip hop and R&B decided to finally marry up, and now we had hip hop soul. Mary J. Blige is the queen. Then here comes neo soul. And just like with hip hop, hip hop was all about New York, a little bit of booty shaking music, a little bit of West Coast, gangster music, whatever, gangster rap, which I hate that title, but that is what it is.
Yeah.
But then by the mid 90s, here comes Chicago, here comes Detroit, here comes New Orleans, here comes Atlanta, here comes Tidewater, Virginia, even Philly.
Philly started to make some noise in hip hop in the 90s.
Right. So everything just started, kind of formulating regionally into a global movement.
Yeah, absolutely right, man. Like you said, you had so many different sounds, but you also had different regions that were able to put their spin on things and establish a unique identity with all things 90s hip hop and R&B. Also, something else I think we talked about this before too, but man, I just kind of want to revisit it, was the record labels. So many black owned record labels. You had Uptown, late great Andre Harrell, which was distributed by MCA. You had LaFace, which was distributed by Arista. You had the hip hop labels at that time, Rap-A-Lot, Suave House. What are some other ones, man? There's so many.
I mean, you had Rap-A-Lot. Well, you had Rap-A-Lot, you had Suave House, you had Hypnotized Minds out of Memphis. Of course, Cash Money, No Limit. Oh man, well, of course, you had Luke's label.
Yeah, you had Luke. Yeah, Luke Records. Yep.
Trying to think, you
had Ruthless out in LA.
Ruthless, yeah. So
Def. Golly, man, so many.
But the problem is that they were black owned, but really some labels were just black fronted.
That's it. Yeah,
because we knew who was pulling the strings.
Yeah, and I have to mention it, unfortunately, despite his legal troubles right now, but you can't talk about 90s hip hop without talking about Bad Boy, which was
I was just about to say that.
Essentially a spinoff of what Puff saw Andre Harrell do at Uptown. All right, because he was interning there. But yeah, you can't talk about 90s hip hop without mentioning Bad Boy Records. Rockefeller,
yeah.
You gotta talk about Rockefeller. Rough House, Columbia, which is distributed. So it's tons of
Tough City, Sleeping Bag Records, Payday. Well, Tommy Boy. Well, no, Tommy Boy went black owned, but but you just had so many different just hip hop oriented labels. Somebody brought up Triborough said Duck Down. Duck Down was definitely a sleeper label. Oh, and Ruckus.
Yeah, Raucous Records. Yeah,
Raucous
yeah,
Records.
Raucous. Yeah, Raucous, which gave us Pharoah Monch, Talib
Yep.
Kweli, Most Def.
Mm-hmm.
Gave us one of the dopest songs. Oh No was
Yep.
featuring Nate Dogg and that crew. Yeah, so yeah, definitely, some huge, impactful black fronted record labels at that time, man.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing you wanted, we're gonna move into the next topic for time's sake, but one thing you wanted to talk about was the parental advisory label, which became huge at this time. And if you paid attention to our initial show flyer was based on the parental advisory label because if I remember correctly, 1990 or 91 was when they started putting the parental advisory labels on that. But I'm gonna let you get into that and talk more about that and sort of provide people with context and why that's so important.
Yeah. So in the 90s, as TH just opened up, you started seeing certain music, certain tapes, CDs, whatever, with the label parental advisory explicit lyrics. And the reason why we started seeing that was because spin back all the way to 1985. Tipper Gore, co-founder of the Parents Music Resource Center, bought Prince's Purple Rain for her daughter. And her daughter was listening to the song Darling Nikki. And Darling Nikki has, some sexually explicit material. So, of course, Tipper got upset because her little precious was listening to something, that was adult-like. So she co-founded the Parents Music Resource Center. And she was pushing for a rating system similar to what was done by the Motion Picture Association of America.
Yeah.
So there was a battle between them and the record labels and the artists. And so they went all the way to Congress. Like it had a Senate hearing and everything. So one of the compromises was that record labels would put parental advisory explicit lyrics on the back of tapes, records, CDs, what have you. But that was not good enough. So 1990 was the year they came out with parental advisory explicit lyrics. Ironically, the first album to be labeled as such is Banned in the USA by the Two Live Crew.
Yep.
And that if people don't may not know, that was right around the time when the Two Live Crew were battling with Broward County, Florida, and a few other jurisdictions over explicit music.
Yeah.
Like to the point where they were getting arrested on obscenity charges. And that's what started the whole movement where it ended up going all the way to the Supreme Court as it was a First Amendment issue. And so what happened is a lot of labels, they were told they had to put it on the front and they had to put it at the bottom, bottom right corner of the music. Well, what I noticed was some labels were doing it like really, really small, so then they had to come with a uniform size.
Yeah.
The bottom line is it really didn't stop anything. I realized that old me now understands, like, you got to shield your kids from certain things, blah, 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 right? But it really didn't stop anything because as most of us growing up in the 90s, the only thing that did was say, I need to find out what's on this CD and on this tape.
Exactly. All it did was pique your curiosity. It's human nature to want what you can't have.
And actually, I left off one particular point. Right as the fight was going on over censoring music and stuff like that, what record labels also did was they started distributing two different types of music. They had clean versions and they had the explicit versions. Stores like Walmart, Kmart, and at a certain point Target would not sell explicit music because they wanted to have a more family-friendly image, if you will. Now, I believe in later years, Target started selling more explicit music, but Walmart never will.
Nope.
And so again, I mean, it really didn't. Oh, and here's the other point. In 1992, Tretch of Naughty by Nature said, "Cussing wasn't nothing to a black man rap," and that was on Uptown Anthem off their first album. And I never really understood what he meant by that, but now it makes sense because all this started because Tipper Gore was upset about Prince singing something sexually explicit. First album to get a sticker was Uncle Luke and the Two Live Crew's Banned in the USA.
Yep.
I feel like this whole movement started to censor black music, but they could not censor all music, right? I mean, they couldn't just censor black music. They would have had to censor all the music coming out at that time. But again, it didn't do anything.
Nope.
Record sales were out the roof,
Yep.
and the labels knew it.
Yep.
I know me personally, I'll look young as hell. I could go to any store in the mall, like Camelot was my go-to. I roll
Yep.
up in there. They knew I wasn't of age. They ain't care.
Nope.
They wanted the money.
Nope.
I can go to Tape World. They ain't care. The
Mhm.
only store that gave me hell about buying a explicit tape was this place called Suncoast, which they were terrible anyway.
Mhm.
I think they became FYE and then they ended up going out of business.
Yeah.
But and there's another point I forgot. Some labels actually did put stickers on the front that would say like 18 plus. It didn't say parental advisor, but it basically said, warning, you must be 18 plus to buy this music. Nobody paid attention. Nobody paid attention. And like I said, the labels were just like, okay, we'll go with it because we know it's going to drive sales. There was t-shirts, there were posters, there was everything that showed parental advisory explicit lyrics. So what Tipper was trying to start, the censored music, really just drove album sales.
It did. Yeah. Yeah. Again, like you said, human nature to want something you cannot have. And I want to give Triborough Gigolo a shout out, man. He said, respect to Uncle Luke for going to court and fighting for freedom of speech and music. Absolutely, man.
Yes.
Like, yeah, he fought that thing tooth and nail.
He did.
One of the creative things about Uncle Luke was, like, when he realized that Broward County and Dade County wouldn't allow his music to be played on the airwaves, this brother got a boat and went out in the waterways off the coast of Miami and broadcast his music from a boat because you can't control or censor music from the water. That's genius, man.
Yeah.
That's genius. All right, so I'm going to share some comments about your commentary. Good job, bro. So Kimberly Fraser says, a minor, just like to back up your points, a minor had zero problem buying explicit music from a record store in the mall. They weren't putting parameters on you buying music just because it had a parental advisory label on it. It wasn't like alcohol or cigarettes. I could still be 11, 12 years old, 13, go pick up Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style album. Nobody wasn't going to check my ID or say, hey, are your parents with you to go buy it?
No, because there was nothing in there saying that, you had to be a certain age to buy it. It was just parental advisory. And you know what's even crazier? You would think that they would have hid this music, away from quote unquote minors, but no, you could go to the record store, it would be up front and center. Like as soon as you walked in, like wherever the hot album was, like I remember when Doggy Style came out, that joint was front and center.
Yep.
All the CDs and tapes were right there. Just grab one.
Yep. But yeah, it's funny, man. You mentioned it. I worked at Walmart probably my first 2.5 years of college. And you're right, man. They didn't sell, and to this day, they won't sell albums with parental advisory explicit lyrics. They only sell the clean version of the album. And today, even on streaming, if you pay attention, when you're searching for a song on Apple Music or Spotify, if it has that E beside it, it's unedited. But if it doesn't have the E beside it, that means it's the clean version.
Yeah, and I meant to bring that point up because sometimes on Spotify, like people will create these playlists, and if you're not paying attention, they'll throw in, they're not necessarily intentional, but they'll throw in a song that is not explicit, So nothing wrong with that. And like I said, I get it, you got to shield the kids, but it doesn't necessarily work as intended. No. And another footnote to this, the parental advisory explicit lyrics movement actually started another movement that involved Calvin, the late Reverend Calvin Butts, and C. Dolores Tucker, and they basically came out swinging against hip hop and gangster rap, especially to the point where Calvin Butts basically took all these hip hop CDs. I think his church was in Harlem. I got to look it up.
Yeah, it's in New York. Yeah, it's based out of New York. Yep.
Yeah, and he basically took all these CDs and put it in the street and took a steamroller and rolled over it.
Yeah, I remember that. It was almost the black version of the disco night at that Chicago White Sox game where folks smashed up all them disco records. But again, this was different in the 90s because guess what ended up happening? It didn't do nothing but, like you said, drive up those sales and make people that much more curious to explore what hip hop had to offer, man. Excellent commentary as always, brother.
Appreciate that.
Let's jump into the music, man. Again, thank you for joining us. Season 2, episode 3, 90s hip hop and R&B. QG, the nerdy little Bubba, myself, T. Harris. We're going to be discussing 90s hip hop and R&B. So to give everybody an idea of what we're going to do next. So when we were doing this show, putting it together, initially we were just going to say, all right, we're just going to focus on R&B. That's what we said at the end of last episode. We're just going to do R&B. We're going to do 10 R&B. Probably a week or two into the process, I text Q and I said, man, I don't think we can talk about R&B only, because hip hop and R&B were so married to each other in the 90s that you have to talk about both in order to show how impactful and important and influential the music is. So what we're going to do, we each have our favorite five, okay? Not America's favorite five, but our favorite five R&B songs, and then our favorite five hip hop songs with brief commentary to go along with it. Q has given me the honors to go first, and I shall share my song first. Okay, so let me turn into go into my notes real quick. Thank you all again for joining us, and again, we appreciate y'all sticking with us and rocking with us despite the technical difficulties of yesterday. But we here. All right. So my number one R&B. This is in no particular order, but this just so happened to be the first song I listed. And we're doing them chronologically in the year that they were released. Thanks for that idea, Q. Excellent idea. Yeah, he snuck that in there in the 80s episode. Didn't even realize he had done that. But yeah, we're going to do them chronologically. So I'm going to take y'all back to 1992. All right. Young T. Harris, 7th grade student. This was one of my favorite songs from that year, from one of the many groups that were popular. Whether that be for a long time or for a short time. This group had a couple hit records off their self-titled debut album, and this was by far their biggest hit. They were assigned to Capitol Records, and this group is named Portrait, and the name of that song is "Here We Go Again." All right, so yeah, you already starting to dance, man. Yeah, so that's a dope song, man. Here we go again. This song, what I learned about this song, I was doing my research. Chuck D is sampled on that. He's the one that "Here We Go Again." That's him from Bring the Noise. Yeah, okay. But it also samples 2 other songs. I didn't realize it, man. Michael Jackson made a lot of money off samples, bud, because this samples the bass line from MJ's "I Can't Help It," and the hand clapping in the song is from Digital Underground's "Humpty Dance." Yeah, man. And I had to go back and listen to it. But man, this song right here, it sort of came out at the tail end of New Jack Swing. It is like an essential New Jack Swing track, in my opinion, man. But these brothers were singing, they was harmonizing. Yeah. Dope record, man.
It is. And I just had a flashback because they actually performed this song on Family Matters.
They did. So this was the episode where they were going to the prom.
Yeah.
And Waldo was like, I could get Portrait to come to the prom. And they was like, no, you can't. He was like, yes, I can, because one of the members of the group is my cousin.
Right.
And then lo and behold, there they are.
Yeah. That was back in the day when everybody was wearing silk paisley shirts.
Yeah.
And, those who were allowed to probably had an S curl. And, the high top fade.
Yeah. Man, shout out to Family Matters, man. Shout out to most of the primarily Black casted TV shows at that time, man. There were always dope musical performances, at least a couple episodes every season. But yeah, that's a memorable episode of Family Matters right there. What I love about this song, man, they were singing, the harmonies, the beat is dope. Like I said, it's a great song, man. Definitely like one of the last really good New Jack Swing songs. Because New Jack Swing kind of started to dwindle, like
right around that time.
Because right around that time, that's when you started to get that sort of hip hop soul sound.
Yeah,
so that's my number one, man. You up next, brother? What you got? This one gonna blow people away right here.
So, and just to preface this, now again, this is not America's top 5, top 10. This is our top 5, top 10, and some artists will most likely not be mentioned because we've mentioned them in other shows. So we don't want to be redundant, and we wanted to show y'all this was a mental exercise.
Yeah.
All right, so this one, I'm gonna spin you back to the year 1990 when young Q was about 11 years old, just started middle school, and I was catching hell. Glasses, braces, black. It was not a good combination. But this group was signed to Jive Records. I think they signed in like 89 or something like that. They had quite a few hits in a short time period, but this one is what stands out. And this is definitely a New Jack Swing hit. So the song is entitled "I Like the Way," aka The Kissing Game, and the group is High Five. I mean, the song is dope. I mean, as soon as the beat drops,
yeah.
I mean, as soon as it goes right in.
Shout out to Teddy Riley.
And it was talking about the kissing game, and right around that time was when you started hitting that prepubescent period where you wanted to play the kissing game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so the song is that all their songs are dope, but this was the one that stood out for me because you can dance to it, you can bob your head to it, and again, I mean, it just spoke to because I think Young Love, because I think them dudes was young, like I think
They
they
were
might have
young, man.
been older.
They were just out of high school, man. I think when this dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so it's just a dope song. It was just good. It's just all the goodness that encompassed what was going to start a new decade.
yeah.
So
Yeah, Megan Simmons said it best. She said, "You can't talk about this era without mentioning High Five." Absolutely right. Their first two albums were good. Were
yeah,
really good, man.
solid, real
Yeah,
solid.
yeah,
And
real
on
solid.
another note, Young Me actually thought that this group was the reason why they actually had a line of hair care products for those of us with high top fades, and it was called High Five.
Yeah.
So I thought that I thought it was something that they helped create, but no, that wasn't the case. But I just found it ironic that came out around the same time that this song came out.
Yeah.
So,
Man, High Five had a string of hits, man. They had this. I Can't Wait Another Minute, Quality Time. She
man,
playing Hard to Get. Like,
hard to get, hit hard too.
yeah, that hit hard, man. The joint from the Sister Act 2 soundtrack, Never Should Have Let You Go.
Yep.
Yeah, they had some joints. And then Tony Thompson, who's the lead singer, he had a hit record about 95, 96.
Yep, sure did.
Yeah, man. But that, unfortunately, man, like I think there are only maybe 2 of the original 5 that are still living.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But yeah, hey, man, excellent choice, man. Everybody's giving Tony Thompson some shout outs at the comments, saying it loud and wasn't kissing the thing. Exactly right. 10, 11 years old. Had no
about right. Yeah, wasn't kissing the thing. So.
Yeah, nothing kissing nothing. All right, man. So we're gonna go to number 2. All right, so my number 2 is from one of my favorite artists, period, regardless of genre. This brother, I'm glad that he's still here to get the love he deserves, because from like 93 forward, it was rough. It was rough for this brother, man. And but he's still out touring, doing his thing. He don't move like he used to, but it don't matter because he's still who he is, man. And he's and it's funny because when I remember when his ex-wife used to call him this, I used to be like, she tripping. But now if you look on it, this brother, he earned this title because the impact of that second album, Don't Be Cruel, created Usher and Chris Brown and so many others. And then the person I'm talking about is Mr. Bobby Brown. And this song is from his 1992 album, Bobby, but the single was released in 93. And in my opinion, this should have been the lead single on this album instead of the first single, which was Humping Around. But my number 2 song of the 90s is Bobby Brown's Getaway. Another song by Teddy Riley, by the way. Man, this song hit hard.
It did.
Hard, man. And you can hear that Parliament Funkadelic in there.
Yep.
Not just knee deep. Yeah, Teddy did his thing on this track. Like I said, this should have been the lead single instead of Humping Around. And I'm sorry, MCA. I know MCA don't exist as a label anymore, but they was dead ass wrong for their lack of promotion of this album, because this is a good, solid album, man. Bobby Brown's Bobby album.
Yeah, I remember when I got it and I was listening to it, I was like, it was hot. And matter of fact, Bobby Brown has started his own label and studio.
Yeah.
He started his own label, which was Triple B Records, and he started, I believe, Boss Town Studios in Atlanta.
Yes.
And so who knows what would have happened if A, this had gotten proper promotion, and B, if he was able to conquer some of his more personal, let's just say, demons.
Yeah. So just some factoids about this album, man. Like, people don't realize this album sold well. I mean, it went platinum. It sold maybe 3 or 4 million copies, but it didn't sell Don't Be Cruel copies. So a lot of people felt like the album wasn't a success numbers wise, but I mean, this album had lots of hit singles on. This was unfortunately, man, this was Bobby Brown's last top 40 hit.
Yep.
The video was dope. I remember they had the fatigues on with the Doc Martin boots, and Bobby Lim was killing it with the military type dance moves. Shout out to Fatima Robinson on the choreography. But yeah, Bobby Brown is he's a legend in his own right, and I'm glad he's alive to receive the love that he so well deserves. Oh, interesting factoid. Walt Gordon dropped this in here. Did you know that Bosstown Studios, which was started by Bobby Brown, is now Stankonia Studios? Outkast bought it.
Yeah, I remember reading up on it. I can't remember if it was in Vibe or if it was not Double XL, The Source. Mm-hmm. One of those two magazines basically highlighted that they bought Bobby Brown's studio. So
yeah. Ain't it crazy? We're 3 songs in, and 2 of the 3 songs were produced by Teddy Riley.
Yep.
All right, you ready for your number 2?
Yeah, I'm ready for my number 2.
Let's do it.
So number 2, I'm gonna bring you back to the year 1992, and this is when Young Q was now 13, going on 14 years old. And he heard this song on Z93, Top 9 at 9. Shout out to Z93, Charleston, South Carolina, and it was called the group originated from Charlotte, North Carolina. People, down there loved them to death. 2 of their lead singers would go on to become a massive R&B artists in their own right. But this right here is what put them on the map. The song is entitled "Come and Talk to Me," the remix now, and the group is Jodeci.
Yeah. Oh man, the
so,
remix.
Young me. See, like I said, I'm hitting that prepubescent, almost pubescent teenagehood, and the remix. You know what I'm saying? The beat was dope, and they had the heavy breathing at the end. So
I was gonna mention that.
You know what I'm saying? They had the rap with the heavy breathing and whatnot. And so I was like, the song was always dope. I mean, the original cut is hot too.
Oh yeah,
don't get me wrong. The original cut is what broke down the door. Because they had the vocals of "Come and talk to me. I really want." But the remix was the best. It was hot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And even later on in the 90s, you could put that in the whip. If you're going out, and you're going on a little date, and
and it had that. The beat was like doo doo.
Yeah. So if you had a good speaker box, it would make the speaker box hit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Man, this song right here, man, it's a play-by-play on how to holler at a girl.
Yeah.
If I'm just gonna look at some of the lyrics, man. I've been watching you for so very long, trying to get my nerve built up to be so strong. I really want to meet you, but I'm kind of scared because you the kind of lady with so much class.
That's right.
Man, listen, I get my thoughts together for the very next day, but when I see you, I forget what to say.
Yeah. I mean, that's the blueprint.
That's the blueprint, man.
That's the blueprint right there. And the thing is that what Jodeci did was they used this. They kicked down the door, but when they got to their next album, they was like, okay, we're not even going to try to play behind the scenes no more. We just we come in full force to let you know what we want.
Exactly. Look, the Her Diva says the 90s had the best remixes.
It did.
The lyrics for the song, you can't convey this in no text message.
Nah. You
had
to do it live in person.
This ain't no "Hey Big Head" right here. Yeah. Nah. Yeah. Someone said folks don't know a damn thing about these kind of lyrics. You're right.
Nope.
You're right. Because now it's straight up. I'm gonna tell you what it is and what it's gonna be. Ain't no innuendos and ain't no suggestions to go along with that.
Right. And I think that's what's missing from today's quote unquote popular R&B.
Yeah.
Because you can still find it, if you listen to the right channel. But
man, excellent choice, man. So we always talk. Everybody always talk about Boyz II Men versus Jodeci. This was a made up rivalry. These guys, those two groups had nothing but love for each other.
Right.
Like they knew what their lane was. The one thing I will say, one thing that people sleep on with Boyz II Men is Boyz II Men had some dope up-tempo tracks early on before they kind of got into that balladeer lane.
Yep.
And Jodeci was their slow jams were much better than Boyz II Men. Yeah.
And the thing is that Jodeci music is timeless.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, to this day, you can still put on "Come and Talk to Me" or "Forever My Lady." Or even if you want to go to "Fiendin'," you can still put those on, and people are still gonna rock with it.
Yeah. The one thing I noticed about Jodeci's albums is they made sure to put them slow jams on first.
Yep,
Four or five tracks was all their slow jams, and then after that it was their up tempo tracks, which was skip, skip, skippity, skip.
Right, because they knew their lane, and they decided to drop the hit.
Yeah, that was their lane, man. Shout out to Jodeci, man. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna go to my number 3. All right, so my number 3 is these gentlemen are from Minneapolis, Minnesota. They were signed to the Perspective Records A&M imprint, and this was from their second album. And I refer to them as the last great R&B band. And these gentlemen go by the name of Mint Condition. And that's from their second. This is their actual second single from that album. The name of this song is "You Send Me Swangin'."
Oh, you send me swinging.
That's the jam right there, man.
Yeah.
I great song, man. And one thing I appreciate about Mint Condition, shout out to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, because Perspective was their label, but even though they served as executive producers, these guys wrote and produced and arranged all their own music.
Yep.
Which I found to be extremely dope, man. So yeah, man. This is one of those songs where as soon as that beat drop, boom, 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 yeah, and it's on.
Yeah. And I saw, I don't know if you saw the TV one Unsung. I can't remember if it was on Mint Condition or Stokely. I think it was on Mint Condition.
Yeah.
And this is how, they got started. They basically came in on that tail end of the Minneapolis sound, like the remnants, I guess, of the Minneapolis sound.
Yeah.
But it was a good thing that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis was there, because to help them get that exposure, and push them forward.
Yeah. So, man, again, we're gonna talk a lot about lyrics when we get to 90s songs, man. I wait for the day a sweet gentle sway rocks your love right my way. Yeah. Oh, you send me swinging. Yeah, come on, man.
Because at that time the love was still in the music.
Yeah,
especially on the R&B side, the love was still there. Somewhere along the way we lost the love, and it's where we got now. So,
yep. There's a T-shirt that says, "If the love don't feel like 90s R&B, then I don't want it."
Right.
Yeah. Right. So if you are in Gen Z, my advice to you all: if the love don't feel like 90s R&B, you don't need it.
Right.
All right. Right. That's just me. But yeah, we can't. Somebody said it best. Like, you have to talk about the lyrics when you talk about 90s R&B. So
yes, you do.
We'll hit on that when we go through each of our selections. So yeah, this song right here was a chart topper for them. Again, number 2 hip-hop and R&B charts. It was a top 40 hit. I don't even care about top 40. We ain't gonna even mention top 40 because that don't matter. We're gonna talk about, because this song went multi-platinum in several families' households, including my own. My mama loved her some Mint Condition.
Man, look, I love Mint. I like Mint Condition too, man. I saw them live again. I think it was at the Jazz Fest, and they rocked the stage.
Yeah, they turned it out. Stokely sounded like one of them brothers that sound, the way he sound live is how he sound on tape. Am I right in saying that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He does. Her Diva says, I might have to make that shirt. Yes, you do need to make that shirt. I'll take one in black, size 3X. You know, I'm good for the money.
Size 2X. Thank you.
Yep. And we good for the money. So we got you.
We got you.
Megan Siblin says, bring the love back. And we don't care about top 40. Kim says, Pretty Brown Eyes is my jam. Yes, Pretty Brown Eyes is still the jam. That's what I call, what I'm saying, you slide the roof back, or if you got a drop the top, and just let it rip.
Let's let it go, man. Yeah, you can't go wrong with anything Mint Condition, man. From like 92 to about 99, 2000, them boys had hits, man. But like I said, they are the last of the R&B bands.
Okay,
so that's their legacy, man. And if you subscribe to Apple Music, one of their best playlists is the Mint Condition Essentials playlist. Just let it ride. That's all I'm gonna tell you, man. You don't have to take my word for it, but
for sure. Her Diva, we will get those line to you after the show.
Yep.
If anybody's looking to get that T-shirt, you just hit her up at neednelia.com. So if you do 9 and you in the house, neednelia.com is the spot to get all your Greek, Masonic, OES, and GDI paraphernalia.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. You got to support the people that support you.
For sure.
All right.
So, all right, we're going to jump into my number 3. And for this number 3, this gentleman originally signed to what was known as Ventertainment Records way back in the mid to late 1980s. And he dropped quite a few hit singles during that time. And he was at the forefront of the New Jack Swing music. By 94, he started his own label known as Kia Records, and he signed a all-female group. The beginning of the song says, "This time I got something for the fellas," and the beat drops, and they announce their names. The song is entitled "Get Up On It." 1994, dropped by the one and only Mr. Keith Sweat.
Yes, sir. If you really, really want it, all you got to do is get up on it.
Get up on it. Yes. I mean, 1994, that was when young 16-ish, I had to be probably about 16 at this point. 16-year-old me listened to this song. One day I was on my way to the mall, as a matter of fact. I had just got my driver's license. I was saying my mother had just got a brand new, fresh 1994 Honda Accord. You couldn't tell me shit. So I was riding out to the mall and this song came on. I'm just laid back, just going to Northwoods. So, but yeah, I like the fact that Keith Sweat realized that, okay, you know what? I got to do something for the fellas, which is why he probably signed Cut Close, because Cut Close's first album was actually hot.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what happened, but Cut Close's first album was dope. And the lead singer,
Athena Cage was her name.
Yeah, Athena Cage. Yeah, she set it off. I don't know why he moved away from Jackie McGee, who also was dope in her own right. But yeah, Athena Cage, she set all them songs off. Yeah. So, yeah.
Listen, man, there ain't no, like this right here. He says, "I like it, girl, when we get real freaky, baby. I'm on my hands and knees, and you know I'm with it." Like, it ain't no whole bunch of trying to guess what the point of this song is. He said from the start.
I mean, they let you know off top, and then Cut Close came back and hit us upside the head with "I'll Make You Surrender."
Yeah.
And again, young teenage me saw them in the video, and it's like, yeah, they sure can.
I don't know what to say to that, man. But you're absolutely right, man. Somebody said, Mo Millie says, "I was 6 years old and knew Get Up On It word for word." But see, these were the songs that they played on the radio. So
right. And it wasn't like they waited until the Quiet Storm hour neither. Like they would just play this during the day.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, this would come on at 1:00 on a Tuesday afternoon. Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. Keith Sweat was popular during this time, so that's what you heard, man.
Yeah. Shout out Megan Simmons. She says, yes, the Accords were hot. Well, they still kind of are, I guess. But at that time, especially when Honda switched over to the new body style, it was. Mo Millie says, "I was 6 years old, knew Get Up On It word for word."
I told you, man.
Hey, we all probably saying something we ain't had no business singing.
Absolutely right.
Her Diva says, "Willing to risk it all." Q, 16-year-old me was willing to risk my little Taco Bell paycheck.
Yeah. For one of the members of Cut Close.
Yeah, she got my little $250 every 2 weeks.
Oh man. Yeah, dope selection there, man. Keith Sweat. Shout out to Keith Sweat again. That's another artist you can't talk about 90s R&B without talking about Keith Sweat.
Yeah,
whether that was at the forefront or behind the scenes, because not only was he responsible for Cut Close, but he was also responsible for the gentleman by the name of Silk.
Yep. And we already knew how Silk got down.
Yeah, we know how Silk got down.
I had no business singing Freak Me.
Yep. Freak Me, Lose Control.
Yeah.
You meeting in my bedroom. Like, yeah. We're gonna stop right there.
Yeah, we're gonna stop right there. Yeah.
All right. Number 4 for me. This song dropped in 1995. Came from the Higher Learning soundtrack. And even to this day, it is still this artist's biggest solo hit. Number 2 R&B hip hop, on the number 2 on the R&B and hip hop charts. The only reason this song wasn't number 1 It's because Montel Jordan's "This Is How We Do It" was #1 at the time. But this gentleman is actually out of Oakland, California. He started going by a different name at this point because prior to this, he was just known as Raphael Wiggins. Changed his name to Raphael Sadiq. Yep. And this song is entitled "Ask of You." Yeah. That's another one with the lyrics, man. Yeah. That's all I ask of you. I'll kiss you anywhere.
Two-step classic.
Yeah.
That's when Raphael had switched over. I guess he became a Muslim, and he started wearing the bow ties.
Started wearing the bow tie. Yeah, he grew his hair out. He had the little twist joints with the glasses. Yeah. So, interesting fact, you mentioned about Raphael being Muslim. So, believe it or not, I learned this from the sisters of My Sister's Jam. They did a show on Raphael Sadiq. They did their top 5 Raphael Sadiq songs. And believe it or not, Raphael Sadiq is not Muslim.
You know, I thought I read something about that. I always thought he initially changed his name.
Muslim,
but
so he changed his name to Sadiq because it means man of his word.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is another song we had no business singing at our young age, man. I was 14 going on 15 when this joint dropped, 9th grade. Just give me all your loving, girl. I'll do all the rubbing. No, we're not talking about seasoning no barbecue when we saying rubbing either.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And I'm gonna leave it at that because we try to be family.
That is what it was back then. See, what people had to understand is a lot of these songs was hitting right at the time. Many of us were becoming, teenagers.
You were of age.
That was right around the time when the hormones started raging. So
this man said, I got my little lyrics out to the side, but listen to this. Kissing you is not enough for me. I'm a big boy, and big boys have desire. Making love is what I want to do, but I need a true friend to make it come together. Yeah. He put it out there. It is what it is. Yeah. So,
all right. Yeah. Going through some of the comments, Matthew Walker says, we sat on the back porch in college, talked about girls are listening to the Quiet Storm, smoking the J or blunt. All right. Hey, we kind of did the same thing, except some was smoking blunt, some was just having a little drink,
Yeah.
Let's see. Megan Simmons, shout out me in my bedroom. Her Diva said, lose control is her joint. JR was, ask of you is so special for sure.
Yeah.
She said, Megan Simmons said, this a family show? Yes, we try to keep it family.
We try to keep it family, but the lyrics at this point are saying otherwise.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the lyrics were sensual and had double meanings back in the day. And it all started from way back. Because that's how, they were able to get stuff played on the radio, was they had to keep it clean. So
all right. So that's my number 4, man. What's your number 4?
My number 4. All right. This artist signed to Columbia Records in, I believe it was 94 or 1995. His debut album came out in 1996, but one of the lead singles outside of this was one of the lead singles off that album. It's the first cut. It basically, in my opinion, started the neo soul movement.
Yeah, which is a term that neither one of us care for, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, if he's the king of neo, if he would be the king of neo soul if there is such a thing. Yeah. The song from the year 1996. Shout out to all those who graduated high school and started college or their life in 1996. It's called Something Something, and the artist is Maxwell.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My wife and I are going to see Maxwell this coming Friday. He's coming here to DC, and I made sure to get us tickets. Yeah. And we're going to go see. It's going to be him, Jasmine Sullivan, and October London. So that's a dope
lineup. Shout out to Maxwell, man. Maxwell got to be part vampire because that dude look like he looked in 1996 still.
He does. He just don't have the same hairstyle.
No.
But I'm telling you, that Maxwell, that first Maxwell album, Urban Hang Suite, I mean, that was the entryway. And I mean, granted, I don't really have a problem with quote unquote neo soul. I don't have a problem with the term because the music, it kind of fits. It had like a laid back 70s vibe, but it was just, stylized for that time period of the mid to late 90s. But yeah, that whole album is nice. I mean, from start
Yeah.
to finish, with no skips at all.
Done,
Something
man.
something was the first song that came on. As soon as you pop that CD in,
Yep.
and the beat, it's a good. It's just something you could get your two-step on.
Yeah. You get your two-step on, but I mean, if it's cool, let's do a little something, something. I mean,
Right.
what something mean.
That's right.
It's suggestive without it's suggestive, and you know what it means, but you're not gonna say it outright. Yeah, let's go do something.
Yeah, and I mean, it had a double entendre, and it's just one of those things you could just groove to.
Yeah.
It's just a vibe. It's just a groove.
Listen to this, man. I hit the lyrics again, man. Even though she paid me no attention, all I want to show is my affection.
That's right.
Lose myself inside her ebony, but she ain't even checking me. She ain't even paying attention to this dude.
Right, but he's already musing over her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the lyrics is honeydew, sugar, honeydew, sugar, something dumpling.
That's it. Honeydew, sugar, chocolate dumpling.
Yeah.
Flavor.
So, he was just musing over what was in his eyes.
Yeah. Lyric.
Let's see. I'm looking at some of the comments. Let me see here. All I know is this show ends without Gerald Levert. All right, we're not gonna say anything. Her diva is not a fan of Maxwell, but she liked the album, and that's respectable.
Respectable, yeah.
She digs Jasmine Sullivan. I like her too.
Yeah. I was gonna say, man, I'm tired of R&B singers trying to sound like rappers, man.
Yeah,
I'm tired
of it.
Yeah, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, me too. Like, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Her diva says because he was doing nothing.
We just watch it from afar. Very stalkerish.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Like I said, he was doing his music instead of stepping to her, but
Yeah, he didn't go talk to her like KC did. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe he got her by the time he hit Ascension.
Yeah.
Don't ever wonder.
Yeah, never wonder. Yeah.
So yeah.
Man, that's great, man. That's excellent choice there, man. Golly, we already at our 5.
Yeah, man.
For our R&B tracks. All right, my number 5, man. I had to get this. I had to include one female artist or female group.
Yeah.
And this is probably my favorite female group or from the 90s, man. These sisters come out of New York. This is from their second album, New Beginnings, their second single. Interesting factoid about this particular song. It was the first song from a production duo that was made up of 2 gentlemen from Virginia named Chad Hugo and Pharrell Williams, who we know as the Neptunes. And this particular song is by SWV. And the name of this song is Use Your Heart.
Okay, I remember that one.
Yeah. Use your heart and not your mind. You got time and I got time. Yeah. Great song, man. Dope lyrics. You can hear Joe. That's actually Joe in the background.
Oh, wow.
Him and Pharrell and Tammy Lucas. If you remember, of course, Teddy Riley.
Yep.
Tammy Lucas was in Teddy Riley's camp.
Yep.
The Neptunes were discovered by Teddy Riley.
And did Ghost production for him.
And did production for him on Rump Shaker in particular, and Tonight's the Night, which Tammy Lucas was on as well and helped write. But this song right here is probably one of the best R&B songs of the 90s. It's one of their bigger hits, not their biggest hit, but I absolutely love this song because the harmonies, and you get an opportunity to hear one of the other members sing on the song as well. So yeah, that's one of my favorite R&B songs of the 90s. Again, this was released in 1996. I failed to mention the year on this.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing that song very well. And SWV, I mean, I always liked SWV since the very beginning. When they did anything, when they did what's another one of my favorite jams? Anything and man, I can't think of it right now. It'll come back to me. But they've always been my favorite since they dropped.
Yeah. And
really,
Yeah. One of the things about this the interlude, I think the Her Diva mentioned it. She said the interludes on the album are amazing. The interlude prior to this song, man, it really kind of sets the tone for what you're about to listen to.
Yeah. Right here was the song I was thinking about. Right here,
Yep.
and Weak.
Yep.
Oh, Weak was my joy, especially like the remix. Again,
yeah.
no matter what Hurt even said earlier, 90s had hella remixes.
Yeah, and sometimes, in some cases, the remixes were better than the originals.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
All right, so that's my number 5, man. What you got?
All right, my number 5. This song came from a young lady who's based out of, I believe, Ontario, Canada. She signed with Warner Brothers Records in the mid 90s, thanks to the one and only Mr. Quincy Jones. She dropped her debut album in 1998. Later in 1998, but this first single, I mean, the beat as soon as you hear it. And she actually was able to catch the eye of a famous NBA basketball player. And so the song is entitled "So Into You" from the year 1998, and the artist is Tamia.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah,
when I tell you, when I remember I bought this on a CD single, and I put it in the CD player. I mean, the speakers, it had the speakers on blast.
Yeah.
Just the beat, the bass, everything. And the lyrics, it's just the lyrics was just so innocent. I think now there's a whole Tamia dance, but I'm not sure if it's to this or if it's to another one of her songs.
That's for I don't remember the song. I don't remember the song title. Somebody drop that name of that song in the comments that got the Tamia dance to
it. Yeah. But what was crazy is that Fabulous turned around and did a remix with her to this song.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what album it was off of, but yeah.
I think it might have been on his second album.
It was off the what?
I think it may have been off Fabulous's second album.
That's right. Okay, that makes sense. But it was so seamless.
Yeah.
It's like he could have easily have done that when it first dropped in 1998. But yeah, Tamia and yeah, agree with my LB Walt. Yeah, she caught the eye too.
Listen, man, we probably both gonna get in trouble for this. Tamia's still bad. What my man say to this day. All right, man,
and everything else. And so she got together, her and Grant Hill.
Still married, man. Their kids are going to or one's in college and one is going to college.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Especially because it seemed like Grant Hill was in the league yesterday. And now, they got, and he's actually from this area. He's from Herndon, Virginia. So, but I mean, her whole album, that whole album was actually kind of hot. So now that I remember it.
Yeah, Tamia, man, I'm gonna hit these lyrics, man. Like with every passing moment, thoughts of you run through my head. Every time I'm near you, I realize you're heaven sent. Like, yeah, man. Somebody said. So again, I'm at my homeboy Matt's, him and his wife's crib, and he said, "Don't worry, your wife not watching, so you good." my man. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, good looking out, Matt. But yeah, excellent song choice, man. So those were our top 5 R&B songs. Let's do a quick recap, man. I'm gonna just go over mine real quick. All right, so my number 1 R&B song of the 90s was Portrait. Here we go again. Bobby Brown's Getaway, Mint Condition, You Send Me Swinging, or Swangin', because that's what they say on the song. Raphael Sadiq, Ask of You, and SWV's Use Your Heart. All right, Q.
My 5 R&B, High Five, I Like the Way, Kissing Game, Jodeci, Come and Talk to Me remix, Keith Sweat featuring Cut Close, Get Up on It, Maxwell Something Something, and Tamia, So Into You. All
right. Now we're about to get into the hip hop portion of the show. We already got into the R&B. Speaking of the marriage between hip hop and R&B, I learned an interesting factoid. I don't know if you checked out, there's a show, podcast called One Song. And they actually talk about it. It's basically what it is. It's one song, an impactful song, or a song that the two hosts like. And they talked about Belle Biv DeVoe's Poison, which unfortunately didn't make my list, but very easily could have.
Yeah.
They said this was probably the beginning of the marriage between hip hop and R&B, because you had the members of New Edition, who were R&B to the core,
Mhm.
but they were singing and rapping. They were singing over hip hop beats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was probably the first official, unofficial marriage of hip hop R&B, which eventually led us to hip hop soul, which Uptown Records so famously made their lane or carved their lane into the industry with.
Yep, they did. They did.
All right, man. Let's go hip hop of the 90s. Number one song. I'm gonna take y'all back to 1991. This artist who is responsible for giving us the phrase or giving us the term the GOAT, because he named his album after that.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, he is one of the hip hop GOATs because just recently he is the first hip hop artist to ever have albums chart in 5 different decades. That's
Yeah.
Isley Brothers type stuff. So that right there makes you a legend in itself if you've still been relevant for 5 decades. And this song came out at 1991. Came from the album title is the same title as the song, and it begins off with "Don't Call It a Comeback. I've been here for years."
Mhm.
And that song is "Mama Said Knock You Out" by LL Cool J. Yeah, yeah, man.
Come back.
Yeah, I've been here for years. Like, and the reason why he says that is because the album that was released prior to Mama Said Knock You Out was called Walking Like a Panther.
Yep.
It flopped. And he was trying to figure out where his lane was because LL Cool J was he was smooth lyrically,
Mhm.
trying to figure out where he fit because this was also around the time that quote unquote gangster rap was starting to make its way onto the airwaves. So he's still trying to figure out where he fit. And he was having issues with this. And his grandma basically told him, baby, go knock him out. And he did. And as a result, you got this hit record right here and the resurrection of his career as a result.
Wow. Because
Yeah.
I always thought the song was kind of a get back at Kumo D.
And it was. Yep.
Mm.
It was that too. So it had like a double meaning behind it. So yeah, he was getting back at Kumo D, but he was also basically saying like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm here to stay. Competition's paying the price.
I did not know to Walk Like a Panther flop because it had mad hits.
It has some hits on there.
Yeah.
But you know it's great. I didn't realize. I thought this was the lead single off this album. It actually was the 4th single. Around the Way Girl was actually released before this, and then Booming System. Yeah, Booming System was on there, and I think it was one other song that was released prior to this.
Probably Jingling Baby.
Yeah, I think it was Jingling Baby, and it may have been released, prior to Mama Said Knock You Out. But people remember this song primarily because of the iconic music video where he's in the ring rapping over the microphone is hanging from the ceiling. Yeah. And he's boxing in the ring. And then, of course, the MTV Unplugged performance where he's walking around with the shirt off with the dress slacks on.
That was trademark. And it's kind of weird that they didn't release Mama Said Knock You Out first.
Yeah. You would have thought that would have been the lead single.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that right there comes from that's Sly Stone, Sly and the Family Stone, Trip to Your Heart. That's where that sample comes from.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, somebody, have you ever seen LL perform live?
Actually, I did.
Dude, he kills it, man.
He does.
He does. Energy from start to finish.
Yeah, because he was on the show, Bill. I want to say it might have been the summer. I feel like it was the summer before, just after I graduated and was about to start college at USC. I had won some tickets on the radio, and it was LL Cool J, Robert Kelly, and it was another group called, I think they were called Minivision.
Yep, they were signed to LaFace, I think.
I feel like it was Minivision, and they were the ones that they were the opening act. And they were all on the bill. It was at the North Charleston Coliseum, and the tickets were dope. Like I was like 3 rows back, and LL put on a hell of a show.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, man. Yeah, I saw him live in Greenville. It was like a Legends of Hip Hop tour. So it was him, Ice Cube, Public Enemy, De La Soul. Man, that concert was so dope, man. They actually performed in Greenville. It was probably about 15 years ago, man. But yeah, it was an outdoor concert, but they did a fantastic job, man. I enjoyed that. But yeah, can't go wrong with LL. Again, can't talk about hip hop without LL. And he's definitely one of the legends. And if you love hip hop as much as you say you do, he deserves a spot in at least your top 10, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. He's on the Mount Rushmore for sure.
Absolutely. All right, man. What's your number one?
All right, so my number one, I'm gonna spin you back to the year 1991. Again, 7th grade, me at the house listening to Z93 one Saturday night. They used to have these DJs come in and do like a mix down show.
Yeah.
And so I heard this song, and the beat is fire. That's what drew me in. And the lyrics was kind of quirky, but I was like, okay. And then I saw the video for it too. But the name of the song is what really bugged me out. Because understand, the name of the song is something that I never saw growing up. I never had it growing up. So just to get to the point, this was off of the Fruits of Nature album. Song is entitled Blue Cheese, and the group is called UMCs.
Okay.
They actually sampled.
Now, are they the ultramagnetic MCs? Is that where?
No. They were just UMCs.
Oh, okay.
They were signed to Wild Pitch, EMI Records. They only dropped 2 albums because by the second album they broke up. But they sampled Delegation's "Oh Honey."
Okay.
At the very beginning, and man, the song was just fire.
Yeah.
But it tripped me out because I was like, why would they call a song Blue Cheese? And then again, young me's like, the hell is blue cheese? Because I didn't eat blue cheese dressing growing up. It was either Thousand Island
or ranch
or Italian. No, I didn't have ranch. I had ranch until I was like, teenager.
Yeah.
But yeah, but the beat is what drew me in to the song and then the lyrics. And I always wonder what happened to them and why they broke up. But one of the members actually still has his fingerprints in hip hop. Like he's a producer and a writer behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the song was just dope. And like I said, the way they brought the DJs in and they mixed it, I got it on tape. I still got it on tape.
Okay.
That whole show, somewhere down in my basement. I ain't got nothing to play it on, but that song was just always hard hitting for me.
Yeah, it's funny, man. When I was looking up this song, when you sent me your list, I was like, man, I couldn't find it on any streaming, which is interesting. So I actually had to listen to the song on YouTube.
Yeah, that's weird that it's not on any streaming platforms. Who knows the reason why?
But yeah, when you mentioned this, believe it or not, man, usually I'm pretty well versed in some songs, but again, like I said, I was late when it came to hip hop. But thank you for this selection because you put me on something I had never heard before, man. So I appreciate that, man. That's a dope record, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I said, this list was a mental exercise because I was like, it's too easy for me to pick out what everybody's gonna expect. So I got to kind of dig deep on this one.
Yeah,
but that song right there, that song in 91 had me in a chokehold.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, man. Like we listened to back then when we listened to music, like we consumed it. Like we listened to those songs on repeat over and over again. And I think the problem today is we have so much music at our fingertips that it's rare that we quote unquote leave things on repeat, so to speak.
Yep.
Yeah. Because you remember back then, man, it wasn't nothing to like if you heard something that made you be like, oh, to rewind it back so you can catch it again, so you can memorize it, like get it in your memory bank, so you can go back when you listen to it again and know it word for word. Yeah, that rarely happens nowadays.
That's true. That is so true. Because I mean, the lyrics nowadays just aren't memorable like that.
Yeah.
So just looking through the comments, Anita Thomas says this was her college days. She shouted out Blue Cheese is 90 hip hop. LB Walt, they said Blue Cheese and One to Grow On. One to Grow On was I think the B-side. Yeah, and I had that recorded too, and it's dope. Her Diva says I keep things on repeat. And I've done that before with certain songs. I just got to hear it over and over and over again.
Yeah. So yeah, man, excellent choice there, man. I always love how you pull things out of the bag that aren't what people would expect.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. All right, so my number two hip hop song. We're on our number 2, and we're doing great on time, man. We appreciate y'all hanging in there with us. So my number 2 is I would call this probably one of the more notable instrumentals in hip hop history. It samples James Brown, "I'm Black and I'm Proud," and it also samples Tom Scott and the California Dreamers, "Today." And you know this song as soon as you hear that. You already know what it is, man. And that song is by none other than Mount Vernon's very own Pete Rock and CL Smooth. And this song is "They Reminisce Over You." My God.
Man.
Yeah.
That was my song too.
Yeah, man. This right here, it's from their album Mecca and the Soul Brothers, man. So interesting factoid about this album, about this particular song. So TROY stands for Trouble T. Roy.
Yep.
And Trouble T. Roy was a member of Heavy D and the Boys, who died unfortunately while they were on tour, who fell from a platform and end up dying while they were on tour. I think in 91. I think it may have been.
Yeah, that was 91.
Yeah, so he died in 91. So it was a whole bunch of shout outs for him in music, but this song in particular was dedicated to his memory. So one thing about this song, like I don't typically agree with many of these publications list, especially when they talk about Black music and they say, well, this is the top song, or this is one of those when I don't dispute when they say that this is one of the best hip hop songs of all time, man. I don't dispute any of those. Complex, Rolling Stone, Billboard, they all have this on their greatest hip hop songs of all time list, and I don't dispute it. And one thing I love about this song, man, is one, it's therapeutic. It's transparent. It's very honest. It's conversational. It's relatable. He talks about being born into a single parent household. He and his 4 siblings, mom finally gets married. How his pops was never around. His granddad was his role model. Gives a shout out to Trouble T. Roy and all the other members of his family. Like, to me, when you think about perfect hip hop songs, and I think Anita said the same thing, like, this is one of those. So
it is, and especially, go ahead.
No, you good. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because, I mean, you got to look at it. Mecca and the Soul Brother. Pete Rock is the Soul Brother. CL Smooth was, he was on his Mecca. He had just converted, I think.
Yep.
And so it was a perfect blend. Like Pete Rock dug deep in the crates for the sample for this. So, and it's crazy because they were all connected. Because Eddie F, who was Heavy D's DJ, started Untouchables Entertainment, which is who signed Pete Rock and CL Smooth. And so, so they was all family. They was all connected, all from the same place. Yeah. So, this just, I mean, I remember I would listen to the whole album just over and over.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, this was one of those albums when I had like my first job and I really started getting into buying music heavy. Like, I remember going to Manifest Disc and Tapes in Greenville. You know where it is. You used to live in Greenville, and getting it from the used CD section, man. And I wore this album out. So it's one of those albums where I have on CD and on vinyl because it's just that good.
It is. It truly, really, truly is. That's the only one I missed out on buying on CD. I had it on tape. Yeah. And I probably still got it somewhere at my parents' house, but I wish I had got it on CD because on the streaming platforms, they kind of like switched it up a little bit to where at first you couldn't even find it. Yeah. And then once you found it, they cut out certain songs.
It did. Yeah. I think, matter of fact, I think it may still be like that. And I'm pretty sure that's some label stuff, man.
Yeah, probably sampling issues because again, Pete Rock sampled heavy. So
yeah. But that's my number 2.
All right. So my number 2, we're gonna go back to the year 1993. Now the artist album actually came out the next year, 94, but this was the lead off single. For me, the beat was grimy. I mean, it sounded like water hitting on pipes. Kind of that gritty New York D&D Studios sound that was signature to this artist and or the producer. The song I'm talking about is called Come Clean, and the artist is J. Rue the Damager.
Yes, sir.
J. Rue the Damager was dope. I don't know what happened after 1996. Yeah. I think there were some issues. Well, I know one thing that happened. The label that he was on, they basically, the parent label got bought by, I want to say it was either Seagram's or that's when Vivendi bought Polygram. And so a lot of artists got cut when that consolidation happened. But J. Rue the Damager's first 2 albums was blazing.
Yes, sir.
I went on repeat. I wore the tape out so bad I had to go get the CD. And this song right here, I mean, the lyrics, his lyricism,
Yes, sir.
his lyricism was hard hitting, and he did not sound like any other artist at that time.
No, he's one of those brothers who don't look like his voice. Like he don't look like his voice.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah. He does not. He does not. And then you have Primo, and that's DJ Premier for those who don't know on the boards. Man,
Yeah.
just fire.
You talking about lyrics? Listen to this. The relentless lyrics, the only dope I slang. I'm a true master. You can check my credentials because I choose to use my infinite potential. Got a freaky flow. Control the mic like Fidel Castro locked Cuba. So deep that you can't scuba dive. My job's origin is unknown like the Jubas. I've accumulated honeys all across the map because I'd rather bust a nut than bust a cap.
Yeah, and I mean, he was on that. He was riding the wave of that kind of conscious hip hop movement. Even in '96, when it started to wane, he was still on that movement. And so I wonder, like, if label politics didn't get in the way, what could have been? Because he was one of the dopest artists to come out of Brooklyn.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And matter of fact, when we did our top 5 hip hop artists, our personal top 5, he was in your top 5 too.
Oh yeah, I mean, J. Rule is always going to be in my top 5 just because of his lyricism and lyrical content.
Yeah,
top notch, unmatched.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I like this track, man. Like I said, you find yourself like you said, the beat's grimy, but then once you kind of get into the beat a little bit, you start really consuming those lyrics. Yeah, J. Rule's dope. J. Rule was dope. You're getting a lot of love, man. Somebody said, I miss that conscious hip hop music.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Me
I'm tired
too.
of all these prescription pill popping dudes in music right now, man.
But see, that's the thing, the rap was becoming too conscious.
It was
becoming too conscious. And there's a whole like YouTube video. I can't remember who actually did it, but it was a guy on there who worked for he was in the industry during that time. And he basically broke down why rap was transitioning away from consciousness to the more gangster side.
Yep.
And it was on purpose.
It was. Yeah, nothing ever, none of the things that one of the things we've learned, the more we've gotten into this show and the more we've done our research, man, nothing is ever done accidental, especially when it comes to music, man. Everything has a purpose behind it.
Yep.
All right. So, and where we at now? We're on number 3?
We're on number 3.
All right. So my number 3 is I prefer this version of this artist versus the version of who he became after he passed away. And the gentleman I'm talking about is none other than Tupac Shakur. And my number 3 is from his 1993 album, Strictly for the N-word. Not gonna say it on here. It was the 3rd single from this album. And it was dedicated to his godson Elijah and his goddaughter Corinne, who is actually the daughter of Salt from Salt.
Okay.
And the name of this song is Keep Your Head Up. This to me is poetry on wax. This is the Tupac that I became a fan of. I personally didn't like what's the All Eyes on Me, because I felt like that was a departure, such a swift departure from what he gave us with Me Against the World, which is my favorite Tupac album. I understand. I mean, to some folks, that album hit hard, but I was always into Tupac the poet and Tupac the lyricist. This song, man, like I said, man, it's socially centered. It talk about poverty, life in the streets. He basically stands on business for Black women throughout this entire song, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I love this song, man. And Dave Hollister, shout out to Dave Hollister on the background vocals, which I learned when I was doing my research on this album. But yeah, this is one of my favorite songs, period. Like, this is one of those still to this day when they come on, I turn it up all the way.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I mean, as soon as that beat comes up, dun, 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 and you know what he's about to go into. And you're right. Like that was what drew me in. Was actually his album you just mentioned, Strictly for My. That was the album that drew me into Tupac, but then Me Against the World solidified it. But unfortunately, I feel like he was surrounded by the wrong people.
I agree.
That's just all there's to it. He was surrounded by the wrong people. I feel like after the shooting in New York, the wrong people got a hold to him, and it was like it was over
Mm-hmm.
after that.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because Tupac at his core he was truly a poet.
He was. Absolutely,
He
man.
was truly a poet at the end of the day. He was not thug life. He was not gangster. He was a poet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, someone said Tupac had them at Brenda Got a Baby.
mhm.
Pac was way before his time, and someone said I couldn't believe Tupac's career so short. That brother, then that's the crazy thing about it, man. He died at 24. Like
Yes.
basically, Tupac's career was 92 to 96, and look how much impact he made in 4 short years.
Well, you kind of go back to Digital Underground days, but
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right.
I'm talking about solo artists. Yeah,
Yeah, solo artist, yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Oh no, wait a minute, hold on. We gotta spin that back because Tupacalypse Now
Is Tupacalypse 191 or 92?
came out in 91.
Okay, so did Tupacalypse Now come out before or after Juice?
Tupacalypse Now came out before Juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out before Juice. But after he did Juice was when it seemed like he started he took on that Bishop character just a little bit too seriously, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a shame because look at what could have been,
What could have been? Yeah.
what could have been. And it's just so sad how everything jumped off over stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's probably the downside to loving hip hop is a lot of our artists don't become old men.
Right.
So that's why I think it's important. And we're also hip hop is also one of the only genres that tell you once you hit a certain age is you too old to perform. But ain't nobody telling the Beach Boys and the Eagles that shit.
Nope.
So why can't Jay-Z and LL Cool J and the Roots and some of those guys still perform and pack out arenas when their peers from other genres still pack out arenas without the original lineup?
But that's the crazy thing. They are packing out arenas. They are packing out arenas. They selling out shows, especially overseas. They can't get enough.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, we decide, oh, at a certain point, I don't want to hear this. You too old. And it's like, no, hold on. It may not fit your generation, but you still got a whole generation of people that want to hear this music. And trust me, the few shows I've been to with artists of that time that are still touring, yeah, they are packing out. You got new artists that can't sell out Sexy Red.
Yeah.
So,
get it, Sexy.
yeah, her tour got canceled.
Yeah, it got canceled. So it's I'm gonna just look at some of the lyrics of this song, man. Like when brothers make babies and leave a young mother to be a pappy, and since we all came from a woman, got our name from a woman, and I gained from our woman, I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women, do we hate our women? It's time to kill for our women, time to heal for our women, be real to our women. And if we don't, we'll have a race of babies that'll hate the ladies that make the babies. Since a man can't make one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. So will the real men get up? I know you're fed up, ladies, but keep your head up.
If Tupac only knew how hard hitting and that those lyrics damn near have come to life.
Yep, it's prophetic, man.
I'm just gonna leave it like that. It came to life.
Mm-hmm.
It's manifesting, unfortunately, every single day in the year of our Lord 2024. If Tupac only knew how prophetic those lyrics would be.
So I'm gonna go back to some of the comments, man, but about Tupac, like brother Neltron said, Tupac's a real poet and artist. You're right, man. Walt said it best. Whether you loved him or hated him, you felt his music.
Yes,
you did. Neltron again, his impact on the world is unmatched. Me Against the World, his magnum opus. Huge impact on the culture. Anita Thomas. Tupac's impact on music and movies was amazing. There are people who acted with him in movies. I think Jim Belushi was with him in his last movie. Not Jim Belushi. John Belushi was with him in his last movie, Gang Related. He said if Tupac were still living, he would already have an Academy Award for Best Actor.
Yeah. Because Tupac was a true artist.
Yeah.
Tupac was a true artist. He was not what people, I guess, there, and they just have him associated with being thug life, but Tupac was not all about thug life. I mean, he went to a performing arts high school. Come on now.
Yeah.
He was a true artist at his core. And it just kills me that he, just got around the wrong people.
Yeah. I mean, I know like Sister Elise told us on the last episode, things happen for a reason. I still wonder if someone had gotten his ear that night that he got shot in Las Vegas. If he hadn't have went and rolled up on Orlando Anderson and them boys, he'd probably still be alive today.
Well, I think personally, if he had never signed with Death Row, he would still be alive today. But
that too. That too, man.
But there's other conspiracies out there.
Yeah, that too. All right, so that's my number 3, man. We could do a whole show on Tupac. Like we just went in just based on that. All right, so what's your number 3, Q?
So my next one, okay, this one is a good one. I'm gonna spin you back to the year 1995 when young Q was about 16, 17-ish, and he thought that he was a part of this collective in his own mind. He heard their first CD, he as a collective, and was like, yo, I'm a part of them, even though I wasn't. Okay. Yeah. I was in South Carolina, running around dirt roads and shit, but I thought I was part of this collective. So in 1995, this particular artist dropped his first solo album. And it made up of, he's a part of the collective. He had members of the collective on this album. I mean, the joint was banging. It is a certified classic to this day. If you got a hold of this particular color tape, you had gold in your hands. So the group I'm talking about is none other than Raekwon, featuring Method Man, Ghostface, RZA, and Master Killer. And the song is entitled Wu Gambino's off of Only Built for Cuban Links, aka the Purple Tape.
Purple Tape.
I wanted that damn tape so bad. You don't understand. I was at Camelot digging through the stacks trying to find that purple tape.
Yeah.
Because one of the dudes I went to high school with already had it, and he was showing off with it. And I said, "Where the hell did you get that tape?" He's like, "Man, I got it at the mall." But he wouldn't tell me what store. I went to Camelot. I was digging through the whole entire stacks. Like, I gotta find this purple tape. I never got my hands on the purple tape.
Yeah, man. I
just had the regular tape, but I remember when I eventually bought it, and I popped it in, and I was listening through it. Ice Cream was dope. Like, everybody could always pick Ice Cream as a song off that album. Because you matched up the flavors. But the next track, Wu Gambino's, hey. That joint hits hard. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah, man. Wu rolled.
They truly were the Wu Gambinos.
Yeah.
You gotta love how RZA set everything up. I don't know if people watch the Wu-Tang series that's on, I think it was on Hulu.
It's on Hulu. Yep.
And I actually need to catch up. But you gotta love how RZA set the whole joint up. He was like, we're gonna do this as a collective, and then I'm gonna start releasing everybody individually. Because first he released Ghostface, then I believe he released Dirty.
Yeah,
I think it goes Ghostface, Dirty, and
Meth came out. Meth released first, so
it was Meth. Okay,
so it's
Dirty,
Raekwon,
and then Ghost.
No, actually Raekwon, GZA, and then Ghost.
Okay.
Ghost was yeah.
Okay. Because I always get the order mixed up, but it was crazy how Raekwon, was basically like able to be his own individual, on this particular album. I mean, this album is a certified classic. I don't care what nobody says.
Dope.
I mean, to this day, it's dope through and through.
I would argue that this is probably I would argue this is probably the best Wu solo album.
To be honest,
what you think?
Nah. Well, it's hard to say because Ghost Iron Man album was fire too.
But what about the other one, Supreme Clientele, though?
See, that's what I'm saying. Like Supreme Clientele had me in a chokehold.
Yeah.
My roommate Oberg Gray will tell you when I brought that joint in, I kept playing that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. I mean, out of all of them, this probably is like in the top 2 or top 3 for sure.
Okay. All right. We can agree to disagree.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was better than Meth's first solo album, in my opinion. Right?
I agree.
But yeah, but it's hard. It is just so hard to go up against Ghost and ODB, and yeah, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
But this album right here, yeah, Purple Tape. I wanted that tape so bad. Oh man.
Yeah.
And so this song right here was hitting hard, and then it led into the next song, which was "What Do You Believe in, Heaven or Hell?"
Yep.
But Wu Gambino's, yeah, Wu Gambino's "My Joint" had me in the chokehold in '95. So
Yeah, bro. Yeah, and then like Wu rolled together as one. I call my brother son because he shine like one.
yeah,
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 man. Wu was the first. It was between them or Mobb Deep. Man, that was the first time I ever heard somebody say son, refer to somebody as son.
it was those two. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was definitely like mid '90s New York talk.
yeah. What up, son?
Yeah, done and done.
Yeah, son and done. Yeah. So, all right, man. That's your number 2. We on number 3. Oh man, we on number 4.
We on number 4
All right,
now.
man. So I think Anita in the comments said she missed socially conscious hip hop, man. So my number 4 is another socially conscious song, but which is funny because for this particular group, this was a departure from what we were accustomed to from them. They were known as being very playful and fun and kind of had these hippie vibes. And then with this song and this album, they went from that to this sort of hard-hitting critique of what hip hop was at that time. And the song is, like you said, man, some songs just proved to be prophetic, even though it talked about the state of hip hop at that time. If you read the lyrics now, the same thing they talked about in 96, they were pissed off about, they would be just as pissed off about it in 2024. So this particular song dropped in 1996, which again was the year that I really fell in love with hip hop. And this song is from none other than De La Soul. The name of that song is Stakes is High. Yeah, man.
Dun, dun. I hear it in my mind now.
Yeah. Gotta love it, man. Yeah, this song right here, Jay Dilla killed it. Killed the beat. Yeah. Vibrations. The stakes is high. The stakes still high. Yeah, man. Yeah. So basically, this song was written as it was kind of written as a response to the East Coast West Coast beef because they thought it was stupid. Like, and they basically were like, they were upset about what hip hop culture had become, what the music had become. And this was like you said, they were speaking out about it because if you remember prior to this, the Daisy Age and the Flowers and all that stuff. And then like they had kind of had these party grooves, man, like the roller skating joint called Saturday, Break of Dawn, Me, Myself, and I. And then they dropped this with a hard-hitting beat, man.
Yeah, because I mean, again, as hip-hop evolved and became global, it also started, kind of working against itself.
Yeah.
And the East Coast, West Coast thing was the dumbest thing that, it should have never happened. It should have never happened, but greed.
Right.
Greed is what caused that, what I call fake beef to happen.
It did, man. And it was some unnecessary lives lost as a result of it, too. Man, I'm just going to highlight some of the lyrics to this joint because, like I said, they went off on hip-hop. Dave, True Guard Dove, Dave, rest in peace, man. One thing he said in the song was, I'm sick of chicks shaking asses. I'm sick of talking about blunt, sick of Versace glasses, sick of slang, sick of half-ass award shows, sick of name brand clothes, sick of R&B chicks over BS tracks, cocaine and crack, which brings sickness to black, sick of swolly head rappers with they sickening raps. Clappers and gats make the whole sick world collapse. The facts are getting sicker, even sicker perhaps. Come on, man. Like he was pissed.
As he should have been.
Yeah.
As he should have been, because again, by the time they dropped Stakes is High, I mean, hip hop was almost in a shambles. Especially like once, Biggie died, it was like, well, what's going to happen next? You know?
Folks were scared, man. Folks were scared for their life. They didn't think it was going to get real like that.
Right. But it did. And it was all unnecessary, but all because of greed.
Yep. But like he said, man, Neltron said, it's funny, Neltron, you say this song reminds me of What They Do by The Roots. You're right, because these songs were released around the same time. So they were almost like brother and sister songs, man. The Roots were talking about the state of hip hop too, but they even had like a fake Biggie and Puff in the video with the bottles and the girls in the video and pulling up to the mansion with the expensive whips. Like they were, the Roots and De La put it out there, man, how they felt about what was going on in hip hop at that time. It's like, again, shout out to the late great Jay Dilla, who went by JD at the time, man. And this is a Ahmad Jamal sample on this, man, who recently passed away. I think maybe a year and a half or so ago. But like I said, they took so many shots at dudes on this track. Like you said, where it all, the migration to a higher form of consciousness, compliments are struggling. It shouldn't be notable, man. Every word I say should be a hip hop quotable. Like, went in.
Yeah.
All right, man. Your number 4. What you got, Q?
All right, number 4. I'm taking you back to the year 1997. Now, at this point, Young Q was now a sophomore at the University of South Carolina, and I remember walking across the dorm, because I stayed in Columbia Hall and it was Capstone Hall, and they were right across from each other. And I remember walking across the way, and I didn't realize that, I saw what would become my future LB holding on to a No Limit album, Shout the Wall. And I was like, No Limit. Okay, I did buy the TRU joint, and that had everybody bouncing off the walls, whatever. I didn't particularly like this artist before then, because he had a particular song I just didn't like it. But when this album dropped, for some reason, I was drawn to it. So just to get things out of the way, the song is entitled Ghetto D, and the artist is Master P featuring C Murder and Silk the Shocker. When I tell you this album had me in a chokehold the day I bought it. Like, I went to Best Buy on Harveston, bought this joint, put it in, went to work, left work, listened to it on my way back to campus, and it was excellent from start to finish. Now, I'll preface this. I didn't like Master P when I first heard him, because he had a song called Mr. Ice Cream Man. We used to go to the little teen club in Chucktown. It was called Illusions, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And they used to play this joint all the time. I didn't like it. I'll be real. I did not like it. But this, I was like, okay, I can get with the No Limit sound and Master P outside of TRU, because TRU is dope too.
Yeah.
But yeah, 97, I mean, this album was full of hits.
Yes, sir.
This album was full of hits. And I mean, it just basically solidified, in my opinion, helped solidify Dirty South rap coming out of New Orleans. Now, what we didn't know was that another record label was about to blast everybody off later on that year into the year 1998, which is Cash Money. But 97 was, No Limit's year.
Yep. It definitely was their year, man.
It was their year. So
I remember this was our theme music on the bus, like for football games and stuff back in the day. I told you, turn that crap off.
Let me tell you something. Any Russell House party, we still at the Russell House parties. Anybody that had a Russell House party, you were guaranteed to hear something off this album.
Yep.
And the place would go up.
Yeah.
It would go all the way up.
Yeah, you're right, man. Yeah, that No Limit had a nice little run there, man.
I guess so. They was dropping the album every week.
You want to talk about a record label that flooded the market? I swear to you, every week on Tuesday, a No Limit album dropped.
Every single week. Every time I turn around and look, it was a new No Limit album coming out. And you know what was crazy? All those albums were either shipped gold or platinum already.
Every single.
Ain't even came out the box yet, and it's already gold and platinum.
Yeah. Man, the commentary on No Limit Records is so funny, man. They'll try to represent New Orleans to the fullest, man. It says, shout out from New Orleans, 504, Ghetto D, the Her Diva, Master P was the soundtrack of our college years. He said, Neltron said they play all No Limit and Cash Money all day, every day, to the point I was tired of. Shout out to P. Walt gave a shout out to Beats by the Pound, the production team. Man, who, again, nothing but hits.
Nothing but hits. And shout out to Pen and Pixel Graphics, because I know Master P had money in their pockets left and right, because everybody had an album cover made by Pen and Pixel Graphics. And whoever made those plastic CD cases, because those weren't just the regular CD cases.
No, they were the same color as the graphic.
Right. It had them in every color, it seemed like. So, man.
Yo, you see Neltron?
No Limit covers.
No Limit covers is so trash.
Hey, but that's how they were trash, but you know what? They stood out.
Listen, No Limit would put full page ads in the source with all their albums that were coming out that month.
All their albums.
Yeah,
Yes,
all of
I
them.
remember.
Yeah.
I remember. So
Yeah. So
yeah, man, those were the days, man.
yeah. Yeah. Somebody said everybody named Mama was bumping No Limit, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. And we ain't
especially
gonna
back
talk.
then.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about Silk the Shocker, man. Like that brother couldn't catch a beat to save his life.
And that's the crazy thing about it, right? It's like we knew that Silk couldn't rap for shit. We knew he couldn't rap. We knew that he did not have bars, but
Yeah.
the music was just fun.
It was fun, man.
It was fun music.
Yeah,
You
it was
know,
fun.
it gave you that bounce. And we didn't even know anything about, well, at least I didn't anyway,
I did.
about New Orleans bounce and like the meaning and how it all started until much later on.
Yep.
But I didn't realize that was their way of introducing New Orleans bounce to the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, read this comment is hilarious, man. Watch this. Look at this. People still use those No Limit album cover templates for obituaries.
I mean, she ain't lying.
Yeah. Hey, if my wife is watching this, babe, when I meet my demise, do not have nobody Photoshop no damn wings on me, okay?
No.
All right. Then somebody said, I found out later that Master P made those album covers like that because of the colors and how it attracted the consumers. I can see that.
Yes,
That was genius marketing, man. It was genius marketing.
It is, because I remember going to different record stores, in the mall, and they would have all the No Limit albums like front and center.
Yeah.
And it stood out. Like if somebody was walking by and they're gonna see it, they're like, "What's this orange?" Because the Ghetto D album, the Ghetto Dope album was orange.
It was orange. Yeah.
Was.
Yep.
So it stood out, and it made you want to go find out what it was all about.
Yeah. Look, talking about Kimberly Frazier's last comment. Silk sound like popcorn on the beat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
He
But yeah,
did.
man.
He did, but it was just fun. It was just fun.
It was fun music. All right, man. We already on number 5, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My number 5, my last top 5 hip hop joint comes from none other than, I'm just going to go ahead and get to the point. The legendary duo from Atlanta, LaFace Records. And that's none other than Outkast. And this is not a single of theirs. This is an album cut from their album of the same title. And it's the song Aquemini from 1998.
Yep.
The sun goes down, heroes eventually die, horoscopes
often lie.
And sometimes lie. Nothing is for show, nothing is for certain, nothing lasts forever.
But until they close the curtain, it's you and I, Aquemini.
Yeah, which is a combination of their astrological signs, Big Boy being the Aquarius, Andre being the Gemini. When you say somebody's a Gemini, Andre 3000 meets Gemini to the core. If you believe in astrological signs and personalities, he's a Gemini to the core. Man, one thing I love about this song, I love the dynamic between these two. It's such a their styles just match each other perfectly, man. Like you got Big Boy with that sort of southern smooth, like almost pimp style flow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Dre with his like otherworldly, like deep, almost like woke before certain folks distorted the word woke. I won't go there. Lyrics, but yeah. So that dope record. Andre he even said this, man. I was doing my research for the show. He said that last 16 of his is probably the best verse that he ever wrote.
Wow.
Yeah. And the beat is just so dang funky, man.
Oh yeah. I wore that CD out when
You and me both, man.
I wore that joint out. Man. I still play to this day. I don't care. Yeah. And that song right there is a banger. I remember
it is, man.
I remember we go on road trips, to different spots or whatever, and we would just blast that the whole way.
Yeah. Man, like I'm looking at some of the lyrics now. Man, these boys, they went in on this song. It's almost like they were trying to top each other, man.
Mm-hmm.
But they went in, man.
And I like the fact that, like, at a certain point, you think the song's gonna kind of fade away.
Oh yeah,
and then it comes back.
Yeah. Oh, listen, Neltron dropped this fact. I forgot about this, man. This album came out on September 29th. Today's the anniversary of the Aquemini album.
Oh,
September 29th, 1998. These are the albums that dropped on that. And I think I shared this in my Instagram stories earlier. Let me see if I can pull that up. All right. So September 29th, 1998. These are the hip hop albums that dropped on that day. Talib Kweli and Talib Kweli, Black Star.
Yep.
Tribe Called Quest, The Love Movement.
Yep.
Brand Nubians, Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z's Volume 2, Hard Not Life, and Aquemini all dropped on the same day.
And when I tell you, you talk about somebody that was broke.
Let me tell you what we did. I ain't had no money like that, man. So I bought one. I bought the Tribe album. I'm a big Tribe head, so I bought the Love Movement. My roommate, CJ, he bought the Outkast album, and then my sweet mate who lived next door to us, he bought the Jay-Z. So all we did was just swap them around, and we dubbed them. We recorded them on tape because we ain't had no money to buy all five.
So I'm so ashamed, but
you ended up buying all of them.
Man, I went to Best Buy. I went to Best Buy on Two Notch.
Yeah.
Right. I walked in and I saw all the joints just sitting there. Yeah. I didn't get the Talib Kweli album because I didn't really know about Talib, at that point. But everything else, I was like, damn.
I gotta get it.
I was like, I got to get it. And I was like, how am I gonna get it? So I looked and I said, oh, I know. I have a Discover card.
Yeah. Man. Oh no. I ain't gonna even lie, man. I did some dumb shit with some credit.
I was like, well, shit, I got this Discover card. You know what I'm saying? They didn't give me a little $2,000 limit. I was like, I could probably go on ahead and do this.
The things you do.
I got 4 out of the 5.
Yeah.
And I was like, here you go. Man, if I had it, when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
When you know better, you do better. Now, to Kim's point, I think Napster, we had just gotten the T1 connection, but I didn't discover Napster until the next year, I think. Yeah. Which was 99.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Ashley Washington for having the whole frat hall hooked up on a Napster network. So all we did was share music amongst each other.
I mean, anybody had a computer on the hall back then, we all was tapped into the network, and we would always be on that. Like, we would just have a rack of stuff downloading. You wake up the next day, it's all there. We would just go into people's computers, steal music. It was beautiful.
Dude, I don't think I bought a CD living on the hall because we had a network up there. We're probably the reason why USC shut down Napster.
Probably.
Yeah, because we had all them engineers in the chapter and them boys, all them computer engineers in the chapter, and we had our own music network on the hall.
Man.
Yeah. Man. Shout out to Ashley Oberg and Eric Boykin.
And it was such a beautiful thing, even with the viruses. Because you was gonna catch a virus. You was gonna catch a virus because you thought you was downloading something legit, and it was. We come to find out it was a virus behind it. So,
man, like some of the bars he dropped in here, man. Like, Big Boy, better know that some way we pro-black, but we professional. We missed a lot of church, so the music is our confessional.
Man. Like I said, I'm so ashamed that on that particular day, I know I did it. I remember doing it. And but I didn't think it, just like, here you go.
Yeah.
But I had to have them. I had to.
I know, man. I did that too. Then Andre, Original Skin, Many Men Comprehend. I extend myself so you go out and tell a friend. Sin all depends on what you believe in. Faith is what you make it. That's the hardest shit since MC Ren. Man. Alien can blend right on in with your kin. Look again, because I swear I spot one every now and then. Goodness gracious.
Man, oh man.
Somebody drop some flame emojis in the comments. Jeez.
Bars for days. Bars.
And that's one thing. As much as I get Andre 3, people need to stop sleeping on Big Boy because Big Boy got bars too. Like, chill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Big Boy got bars too. All right, Q. Let's get to your number 5, man.
All right, my number 5. I'm just gonna get right to it. Basically, I discovered this song in that summer of 1999, and we actually came up with a step to it.
This is one of the first things I ever was taught.
And we also it came out on what was known as the Violator. It was like a Violator soundtrack. It had all the artists that was on signed to Violator Management. but this person also had on their solo album. The song is entitled Vibrant Thing, and the artist is none other than Q-Tip. Again, another song that had me in the chokehold, or really had all of us in the chokehold, to the point where we came up with our own line step. We call it the Spring 98.
Mm-hmm.
And we practiced that joint. We was on a retreat, and we practiced that joint and practiced that joint. And so we made sure to make his debut at the right time.
Yeah.
And it was
that whole Amplify album was dope. And you know what's crazy? It didn't sell that well because it wasn't quote unquote like, but Dilla and Q-Tip put their foot in the production on this, man.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. And I never understood why that Abstract album didn't sell more than it did. Because it should have.
Yeah, it should have. Yeah, it really should have. That album was dope, man.
Mm-hmm. And the Violator album was dope.
It was. Yeah. And that's that Barry White sample on that Vibrant Thing.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, as soon as you hear that, you already know.
Yep. And the music video, good God.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. So that's my joint. To this day, I will still bang Vibrant Thing.
Yeah. It's funny, man. I remember revisiting that album later on. My kids were probably, my oldest is probably maybe 4th grade, and my middle boy, he's probably 1st grade at the time. And they used to ask for me to play that Q-Tip Amplify album all the time, and they love that album.
Yeah, I mean, it's dope through and through, like no skips.
Yep, no skips. Yeah,
no skips. And so but it's crazy how, and it just speaks to people liked Q-Tip when he was with Tribe Called Quest.
Mm-hmm.
But then the minute he broke out and became a solo artist, it was like, and it's like, no, like he's still dope.
He's still dope. Like every solo album that Q-Tip has ever dropped has been dope. He had that one. He had the Renaissance, which is amazing. And then he had Kamal the Abstract. That's the 3rd one that came out. So he's had 3 different solo albums. But yeah, every single one of them have been dope.
And not only that, I mean, he was the one that produced LL Cool J's latest album.
Yep. Which if y'all ain't checked out, please give it a listen. That's a good album, man.
It is.
Yeah. Look. Matt had to get you, man. Said Q-Step into Q-Tip while I was in middle school learning how to use Q-Tips. You ain't got to call us out about being old, brother.
Damn, just crushed me, brother.
Crushed us, man.
Just crushed us, man. Yeah. Wow. It is what it is. It is what it is. So 99, I was 20, about to be 21. So
19 over here, man. All right, man. We have made it to the end of our top 5 hip hop list. So we're gonna do a quick recap, and then we'll jump into the next segment of the show. All right. So my number 1, I'm gonna start 1 through 5. Number 1, LL Cool J's "Mama Said Knock You Out." Number 2, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, "They Reminisce Over You." 3, Tupac, "Keep Your Head Up." 4, De La Soul, "Stakes Is High." And 5, Outkast, "Aquemini."
And my 5 are UMC's "Blue Cheese," J. Rue the Damager, "Come Clean," Raekwon, Wu Gambino's Master P, Ghetto D, and Q-Tip with "Vibrant Thing."
All right, and I put it in the chat, but I will share with you all. There will be a playlist, as always, for this particular episode. All right, so be on the lookout for that playlist. I'll post it and post it to the Q&I's page. All right, so like we said, this was extremely difficult for us because the 90s had so much good music, man. I probably wrote 2 or 3 pages down of songs just off the top of my head. So what we going to do, man, as we always do, all right, songs that missed the cut, okay? And I'm just going to list a handful. I'm going to start with the R&B, and then I'll let you do your R&B. All right, here's some R&B songs that missed the cut that could have been on the list, but were not. Tevin Campbell's "I'm Ready." "Let's Do It Again" by TLC. "That's the Way Love Goes" by Janet Jackson. Sade's "Cherish Today." Tony's "It Never Rained in Southern California." "Sensitivity" by Ralph Tresvant. And "Other Side of the Game" by Erykah Badu. That's just a few. I could have kept going, but that's just a few. What are some of the songs you had that missed the cut?
Some of the songs I had was, let's see, Joe, "Love Scene."
Okay.
Key Sweat, "Nobody," and "Twisted."
Ooh,
Tony
okay.
Braxton, Love Should Have Brought You Home. Boys to Men, Motown Philly. Changing Faces, Stroke You Up. And Color Me Bad, I Want to Sex You Up.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna add this to the chat, but someone had asked, I think Kimberly asked, where can I find the playlist? Oh, Neltron asked that. So the playlist will be available on either Apple Music or Spotify. I'll post a link to my bio, but I'll also create a reel, as I always do at the end of each show. So you'll know where to find those songs. So just be on the lookout for that. So playlist will be available on both Apple Music and Spotify. Hopefully I'll have it up probably tomorrow evening at the earliest. All right. Q, what's your hip hop songs that missed the cut?
So hip hop songs that missed the cut. Biggie and Bone Thugs and Harmony, Notorious Thugs. Bone Thugs and Harmony, first of the month.
Biggie, it's Bone and Biggie.
Yep. Goody
Yep.
Mob, Soul Food, and Dirty South. Jay-Z, Who You With. Jay-Z, Ain't No, featuring Foxy Brown. And Foxy Brown, Get Me Home.
All right.
And I think I also had Lil Kim, Big Mama Thing, No Time, Queen.
Did you say Big Mama Thing?
Yeah, that album was hot. That song was hot.
Yeah, you got it going on. What?
Yeah, she just basically let you know on top that, this is how the album's gonna go. And then Jay-Z was like, now how big gonna trust you in the studio with me? Don't you know I'm trying to sex you continuously?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And I'm like, hold on, Jay. But never mind. I ain't gonna say
that. All right. So some of my hip-hop songs that did not make the cut for the 1990s. Let me see. Black Moon, Who Got the Props?
Fire.
Far Side, Running. Meth and Mary, Y'all I Need to Get By, I'll Be There For You. The Razor Sharp remix, though. Not the album version. Not the yep. Tupac's Temptation. It Ain't Hard to Tell by Nas. Jay-Z's Imaginary Players.
Ooh, that was my joint.
Yeah, what's the difference between a 4.0 and a 4.6? Yeah. Let me see. Biggie's Unbelievable. Produced by Primo and the What feature and the What featuring Method Man. And Black Sheep, The Choice Is Yours.
I almost had Black Sheep, but not The Choice Is Yours. I was going to throw in Strobe Like Honey.
Yes, sir. I gotta go. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Talk about somebody who dropped a dope debut album and then just kind of disappeared. It was Black Sheep.
Yeah, I think they had it was two things. I think they broke up.
Yeah.
Because of creative differences, but then they got caught up in that whole label mess too.
Yeah. So what we'll do, man, what I'll do, man, I'll get with you, send me that list of songs that missed the cut, and then I'll include them on a playlist. Might even make a separate playlist, but I think that'll be fire too. It'd be like a part 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Best.
So, quick audience participation in the chat. Y'all drop some of y'all favorite songs from the 90s, R&B and or hip hop, because I know we missed out on some. I know we covered a lot, but I'm pretty sure we missed out on some too. I'd love to hear those of you who've been rocking with us from the beginning of the episode to now, man. Drop some of your favorite R&B songs from the 90s, R&B and or hip hop songs from the 90s. I see we got a lot of agreement on some of the ones we predicted, but we got some good ones. The Her Diva Says Anything by Monica.
You know what? She is a Monica fan.
Yes.
No, ever since I know her, she is a #1 Monica fan.
Yeah.
I love it because I like Monica too. I mean, come on now. How could you top, old lady church shoe wearing Monica when she's saying,
Never meant to call you my life. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. That was my joint right there too, man.
Yeah, like how could you not like that?
Yeah. All right. Oh, Janae, A Groove Thing.
Yeah, that's my joint too.
Yeah.
Walt said Aaliyah's One in a Million was a game changer. It was because that basically changed, that introduced us to Timbaland, and it changed the whole soundscape.
Yep. That song has aged extremely well.
Matt said All My Life, Casey and Joe. Yeah, that's another hard-hitting one.
Yeah. That's
now Kim is a Donnell Jones fan. She's #1.
Yeah.
I like Donnell Jones too, for sure. Where I Want to Be, I used to play that all the time.
Yeah. Brandy's Never Say Never album. Yeah,
that's another good one.
One.
Neltron said Diggable Plans, Blowout Comb. I used to play that joint all the time too.
Yeah,
I need that.
Yeah, I need that album. I don't have it. I need it. Oh, Camp Lowe's debut album. Was it Uptown Saturday Night?
Uptown Saturday Night.
Yeah.
Certified classic. Should have sold triple.
Yeah, should have. Yeah, somebody else gave another shout out to Donnell Jones, Where I Want to Be album. That album has some hits on it, man.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Any other ones before we move on? But yeah, man, y'all drop some good ones, man. Aisha, Another Bad Creation. Yes, sir. Shout out to Michael Bivins.
Michael Bivins don't get it. That's when they had Teeny Bop Awards, you know.
Yep,
Crisscross versus Another Bad Creation.
Yep. Speaking of, man, Another Bad Creation, man, Michael Bivins don't get enough love for being such a great dang A&R and exec during the 90s, man. Like, he gave us Another Bad Creation, Boys to Men, 702. Subway had a couple hit joints in there. Yep. Yeah. Michael Bivins deserved more love. Somebody said shout out to Dallas Austin. Yeah, he helped.
Another one. Yeah.
Michael Bivins helped put Dallas Austin on too, man.
Yep, he sure did. Heard even says Poison by BBD. Yes.
Yep. Yeah, can't forget that. That's definitely even though it wasn't in our top fives, that's gonna be on there. Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, can't forget it.
Ooh, Neutron said Death Certificate by Ice Cube. Yeah.
So yeah, somebody said 702 definitely had his. Ice Cube Ice Cube had one of the best first 3 album runs in the 90s, man. Shout out to Ice Cube.
Yeah. Ooh, Ice-T Original Gangster, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so we're gonna move on from that, man. We appreciate that. We'll include some of y'all selections in the list too. All right, Q. Talk to the people about voting, man.
All right, so it's election time. We got 37 days until a very important election, and we can't stress this enough. Please get out and vote. You can go to vote.org if you need to sign up or find out where you need to sign up. Please go to vote.org because a voteless people is a hopeless people.
Mm-hmm. And again, like I said, vote.org ain't paying us to do this, but this is our way of telling you this is your opportunity to have your voice heard. Okay. And as much as we talk about the presidential election, your local elections are the ones that you need to be voting in, particularly those school board elections. So please make sure you vet those school board. I'm passionate about that because that's what I do for a living. But those school board elections are extremely pivotal. I can't even talk. Are extremely pivotal in determining the course of curriculum and instruction in your district. So please make sure you get out and vote.
Yep. Don't sleep on the down ballot races. Don't sleep on your local races. It is all important. Can't just focus on the national. Got to focus on right at home. So please get out, go vote. Check it out on vote.org if you need more information.
Yep. And if you are not registered to vote, you need to register to vote. But also, if you know somebody who ain't registered to vote, get them registered to vote. There are some states who will allow you to register to vote the day of the election.
That's right. That's right.
So make sure you get that done. But most states' deadline is coming up.
Yes. And make sure you check your voter registration. Make sure you check your voter registration to make sure that it is still valid. And if not, make sure that it is valid.
All right. So we're going to do a little thing. Audience can participate in this. I came up with this one. We did it last episode and it was a hit. So I said, let's bring it back. We're going to do this or that cover song edition. Because in the 90s, there were so many songs that were covered in the 90s that actually were made by artists in the 70s. Okay. So I'm gonna put the first one. I didn't share these with Q beforehand. All right. And y'all will be seeing them for the first time too. All right. Here we go. First cover song. Your choice. I'm Every Woman. Are we going with the original by Shaka Khan? Or are we going with Whitney Houston's?
I'm gonna go with Shaka.
All right. What we doing, audience? We going with Whitney or we going with Shaka Khan on I'm Every Woman? I like Shaka. Shaka one of my favorites, like top 5 R&B artists of all time, man. You know how I feel about Shaka Khan. You know how I feel about Rufus. I'm going with Whitney on this one. Yeah, I'm going with Whitney. I'm seeing some responses in the chat. We got a couple Whitneys. Got one for Shaka. Honestly, you can't go wrong either way.
Yeah, you can't go wrong either way.
All right. Next one. This one right here going to start some controversy. Always and Forever. Heat Wave or Luther Vandross?
Heat Wave.
Heat Wave. Hands down. Johnny Wilder killed it.
Yeah.
I like Luther. And Luther was the cover song king.
Yes, he was.
But he can't touch the original on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with Heat Wave, and I'm thinking that the audience is going with Heat Wave too. So we
No,
got
I know somebody that probably won't go with Heat Wave. I ain't gonna say who.
All right, next one. All right, if you think you're lonely now, Bobby Womack, the originator, or Casey Haley, the cover?
I'm going Bobby Womack. I'm going Bobby Womack. I got the original Beverly Glen Records pressing downstairs in the basement. I'm going Bobby. I like KC and I like that version, but Bobby.
Woo! I'm going with Casey Haley, man. Listen, KC took us to church, man. That's how you know that brother he had that gospel singing background, and you could tell he was up. It's like he was in front of the church telling folks about this, man.
True, but I'm going with Bobby because he lived a more colorful life.
You ain't lying,
especially up to that point. And I mean, come on now. I mean, they both basically sang it perfectly when they said, "When it's cold outside."
And listen, and Bobby would know about skeletons coming out of the closet and chasing you all around the room, wouldn't he?
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Somebody. So look. Yeah, me and Neltron the only ones who like the KC version, man. And Mo Millie said Bobby Womack had some stank on it, like he was making threats. He was.
He probably was. Yeah.
Yeah. If y'all don't mind, let me tell you about a woman that I had. She always talking about the things she ain't got.
Right.
The things her girlfriend got.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, KC was singing that thing though. All right. Next one. Ribbon in the Sky. Intro or Stevie?
Oh, Stevie.
I'm gonna let the audience respond before I respond. Intro or Stevie? Ribbon in the Sky.
While everybody's responding, I will say that has to be the Black wedding song.
What you talking about, man?
You know, somebody that you know who got married probably played this song at their wedding. Yeah. Out of 10 couples, you know, that got married, somebody or two played this at their wedding. Whether it was the song itself, whether they had somebody playing the instrumental, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is a Black wedding song.
Staple. Listen, first of all, let me preface it by saying y'all know how much I love Stevie, right? Love Stevie. All right. Mm-hmm. So I'm going with intro. I'm going with intro.
You know what, the Her Diva. We're not doing this.
We're not doing this with you.
We're not doing this to see. We're not doing this.
Oh my God. That comment is the comment of the night right there. Somebody said,
yeah. All right. That is gold. That is gold.
That is golden.
We're not doing this to see.
You win the comment of the night, Her Diva. She's like, find the lotto.
Look, man, I tell.
All right, here we go. Next one. All right, Sweet Thing. Rufus featuring Shaka Khan or Mary J. Blige?
Damn it. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna let the audience respond first. Because I'm torn on this one.
Rufus
I am torn on this one.
Or Mary?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go Mary because that is the first version I heard.
Okay.
And then I heard Shaka's version. Because again, Young Me was like listening to it and
not knowing it was a cover.
My parents were like, well, my dad, he was like, what you doing listening to Shaka Khan? I said, that's not Shaka Khan, that's Mary J. Blige. Shaka Khan did the song first. Yeah. No, she didn't.
All right. I'm going with Shaka on this one.
I mean, I love Shaka's version for sure.
Yeah.
Because again, I didn't know that Mary had did a sample when I first heard it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Next one. At Your Best, You Are Love. The Isley Brothers or Leah? I'm about to start a fight with this one.
Let me know. I can't. Isley Brothers or Aaliyah. I'm trying to think which one could I drop? Could I slide the roof back to him?
Man,
Really could be both, but I'm gonna go with Aaliyah.
Are you going with Aaliyah?
Yes.
I'm going with Aaliyah too. Aaliyah did her thing on this one, man.
I know. I mean, because my husband's version is
I've-
more acoustic,
It is.
whereas
This right here,
Aaliyah's version was more, it was modernized, but it
modernized.
just sounds so good. Just
Yeah. There are times when I find you want to keep yourself from me. When I don't have the strength, I'm just a mirror of what I see. Damn, damn, damn. Lyrics.
Now I'm gonna have to find this remix.
Ooh, that remix.
I'm trying to remember what it sounds like. I'm gonna have to find it.
R. Kelly be on that joint. He be like, 1, 2, checker. Baby, let me know what's up. You don't remember that?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that remix fire. All right. Yeah, everybody said I can't front Aaliyah's version is dope. All right. Yeah. Next one. You ready for the next one?
Ready.
I'm going down. Rolls Royce or Mary J. Blige?
I'm going Rolls Royce.
I'm going Mary on this one. Mary did her thing on this. And the video is iconic too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, black and white. She got the hat on with the suit. Yeah, Mary killed that.
Again, another song I thought for sure was all Mary J. Blige.
Me too.
Here Comes My Parents. That's not Mary J. Blige. No, it's not, boy. It's Rolls Royce. I said, who's Rolls Royce?
Yeah.
And then that's when I looked it up and found they did the song Car Wash.
Yeah, that's them. Yep. And as a matter of fact, this I'm Going Down is on the Car Wash soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going with Mary. Yeah, her diva said the video, yes, but Mary
no. That could spark a whole nother debate because some people swear up and down that Mary ain't got it vocally. I don't necessarily agree, but
I will say this. Okay, Mary sounds like the girl who leads the praise team in church. Emotion.
Yeah.
She connects with people's emotions, man.
She does not.
Hey. That was the Her Diva is killing it in the comments tonight, man. You win. Yeah. Even Mo Millie said, right, the video was fly, but vocally, no. Should I have said this? Mary J. Blige sound like the around the way girl that wins the talent shows.
Okay.
Is that better?
We'll go with that. Yeah.
I will take
talent show, and then she made it all the way to the regional finals.
Yeah.
And then somebody at the record label just so happened to be in the audience and was like her.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. She didn't win the competition, but she was good enough.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to remember, her sound was perfect for what they wanted to portray. She is the queen of hip hop soul. So, yeah. These comments said, Mo Millie said, no, the lady that drank Henny and smoke a lot of Newports. Oh, man, y'all get off Mary, man.
Mary is the product of Puffy at the. You know what? That's it. You know what? We got to put her in timeout.
You know what? Her diva, you in timeout from
comments. We got to put her in timeout because she out of control. Here you go, Walt. Stop talking about Monet. Yeah, I'm still a little sad over that one.
I know, man.
I'm a little sad over that one. But
so I will give this. So this is Mary has soul to make up for her, and she missed the word lack of range.
Yes.
Bingo. There we go. That's the comment.
Mary knows how to channel that pain.
Yeah, she do.
She knows how to channel, and mind you, she went through some pain.
She went through some stuff now.
And she channeled that pain into her music. So
all right, man. So we did our we did the this or that cover edition. Now we're gonna introduce the next episode for October.
Yes.
Tell them about it, Q.
So the next episode for October, it is homecoming season. Whether you went to a PWI, whether you went to a HBCU, you are in homecoming season. And so we are going to talk about what will make up a dope homecoming soundtrack. What do you need to hear at the homecoming cookout? What do you need to hear at the homecoming party, either the day of, the day before or the night of, what encompasses the perfect homecoming soundtrack?
Yes, sir. Yes,
You know
sir.
what I'm saying? Do you want music from back in your day? Do you want to mix up what's going on now? This is what we're going to cover. What it's going to go over. It's going to have you reminiscing and probably have you getting plane tickets, train tickets, rental car, whatever, to get to your school's homecoming. Shout out, but I will say this much. Shout out to all the people, all my HBCUers that are on here, because, hey, I can't front. They have dope ass homecomings.
Man, listen.
We do our thing now. Don't get twisted now.
Yeah. For
PWI,
we do our thing at home.
PWI, we we on fire with it. But shout out to my HBCUs because yes, y'all do put down a damn good homecoming.
Yeah. So we looking forward to this episode, man. This was when Q and I, we got together in January and started planning out what our year would look like. And when we got to October, it was unanimous, like homecoming.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. So homecoming soundtrack for the month of October. Be looking for that. We'll set a date soon and let y'all know. And listen, y'all, please get off Mary J. Blige in these comments now. That's enough now. She done been through enough pain, and I need y'all to stop talking about our boots, okay? Because people are in here talking about our boots now.
Well, I mean, at least they ain't talking about her dance moves. Or are they?
No, they're not. Let me see. I got to go back.
No, I didn't see anything about the dance moves.
Okay, I'm going to go. Damn, we on Mary's neck and boots.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Y'all leave Mary alone, man. We didn't start it. The Her Diva said we started it.
No, we didn't.
We didn't. I think I started with that praise team comment. I take that back. I apologize. Yeah, all right. We're gonna leave Mary alone. All right. So we're gonna wrap up the show, man. Listen, first of all, we knew this was gonna be a long one. We planned for 2 hours. But first of all, first thing I want to do, Q, and then I'll pass the mic to you and let you say what you want to say. But I want to express some gratitude to all of you who tune in to us regularly. Many of you have gone on your own platforms, your own personal pages, and shared information about our upcoming shows. You shared clips from our shows when we clip certain things and share them out there. So, and also not just that, man, last night was super frustrating not being able to go live on the date that we had picked out a month in advance. So I appreciate y'all for rocking with us. We've had consistently since we've logged on 10 or more viewers, and y'all have been locked in for all 2 hours and 22 minutes, what the ticker says. So again, man, appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Thank you, even through the technical difficulties last night, and then joining us on a day we normally don't do. So we appreciate you.
Yes, I can't say it enough. We thank y'all for rocking with us, for being here with us. I mean, y'all kept patience with us during the technical difficulties, and y'all still here. We thank you so much. Please share the platform. Let the world know that we're out here. We just love to talk about music. We love to talk about music. We like to have fun, make people laugh, everything else. So we thank you so very much.
Yeah. And Q, you held us down, man, with the motivational minute. Be who the F you are.
Yes.
Love it.
Love it. And I saw your boy Matt's comment about getting my stepping boots ready. No, hung those up a long time ago. 46-year-old me, no. We leave that. No, we leave it to the youngins now, where they can jump up and down and do CGI type graphical, steps and whatnot. They ain't for me.
But yeah, man, we appreciate it. Mo Millie, I want to give Mo Millie a shout out because she's a part of the curators crew that Q and I are part of, man. And she said she be locked in every episode, man. She said she told us yesterday she had her spinach and artichoke dip and chips ready to lock in and watch it.
Yep. Shout to JR World of Soul. He had a bottle ready and everything. And Neltron is always there rocking with us, holding us down. Her Diva's here, and What is it? Nah, Q just smokes the cigars. You know what? That's it. She going to time.
She on us bad. She on us bad tonight, man.
Oh man.
Look, she even went in against Mary J. Blige, said y'all had talking about he had Mary on there twice against legends. Why, Lord? All right. We sorry to hurt D. We'll do it next time. But yeah, but damn, that just made you realize how many of Mary's hits in the 90s were cover songs. Yeah, that's
yeah, for sure.
yeah. But again, man, listen, here's the thing. Y'all keep this chat popping from
And that's
start
what we
to
need.
finish. Man, I go back and read some of these comments and y'all literally have us cracking up, man.
Yeah, but that's what makes the show. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
That's what makes the show. That's what keeps it lively. You know what I'm saying? That's what keeps it going,
Yeah.
because we just here to have a good time.
And as Q said, continue to spread the word, man.
Please do.
Spread the word. We love music. We want to share it in a way that people enjoy it, but also make it easy for people to learn and not feel bad they don't know. And that's okay. Okay. Yeah, if you don't know it, but again, we appreciate it. Always a great time with y'all. We consider y'all to be a part of the sit down crew. And with that being said, signing off, this is T Harris at When the Needle Drops on Instagram. Be looking out for the playlist coming soon.
And this is QG, aka Nerdy Lil Bubba. I'm also on Instagram, and I'm at the Nerdy Lil Bubba on TikTok.
All right, so be on the lookout for the teaser and all the promos that come along with October's episode, where we'll be discussing Homecoming. And again, thank you again. Y'all have a great night. Peace out.